All right, that was a freaking hot mess. I'm pretty sure I put the link to the to go live in the description of the video. So check that description and feel free to join. That was a hot mess. That was a freaking shit show. So I'm still learning how to do StreamYard. I if I know you, if we've chatted before, if I know you from Discord, feel free to.
What's that?
All right. Brian from Weird World War II has assured me that he is indeed wearing pants.
I am. I'm panted.
He is panted.
I'm
And
panted.
so yeah, I had to send that link out again. I use a wet palette. I can't get my paints thin enough on a dry palette.
Oh no.
The only thing I do use a dry palette if I'm using any kind of contrast type paint or if I'm using metallic.
Gotcha.
Because I
Is there a
don't
reason? Is there a
yeah, I
reason
don't
for
want
that?
metallics in my I don't want metallics in my
Water.
in my dry brush, the metallic little
Gotcha.
it's quartz. They're little pieces of quartz, right? That get mixed
Uh-huh.
up with the paint to give it that metallic sheen. Although I've been trying to not use as many metallics and try to use more non-metal metallics.
Huh.
Try to get metallic effects with non-metal paints. I haven't found a whole lot of metallic paints that give me that realistic metal effect.
Yeah.
A lot of them they tend to look cartoony, but my painting style is pretty cartoony anyway, so I don't know what I'm really bitching about.
I think it's good,
Well,
man.
that's true, though, right? I mean, there's some people that if you look at their painting style and you think, man, that looks real, and then when I look at my stuff, I'm like, yeah, this looks like a real cartoon.
You know, I think as we keep doing this for so many years and whatever, we start to form our own styles.
Right,
You know, like painting styles
right.
and our look, and it's just like I think it's cool because like I can tell. Like I remember when like I had several buddies playing minis. I could tell whose mini it was, just by the
Right.
paint job.
And that's what I take. I mean, I really take your point, and I've really only been painting for like. I mean, it's not the years, it's the hours, right?
Yeah,
I
it
can say,
is.
well, I've been
Yeah,
painting for 2 years. Well, I've been painting for 2 years, or you've been painting for like 20 hours, and I've only been painting for, I mean, hours wise, maybe like 40 or 50 hours.
that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been more than 40 or 50 hours.
No, not really.
Hey, it's the cat.
Maybe 100 hours.
It's
But
just better than the last time.
I think I've really been trying to shy away from watching painting videos for that reason. I think it kind of kills my creativity.
I do
I
too.
see
I
too many
you know
guys.
I think watching a paint, every once in a while, just maybe get a technique down, or maybe look at the colors or whatever. But I think people need to like develop their own painting rhythm instead of being told how to paint. They just discover it on their own.
Right.
You can watch videos to learn technique, but it's
Yeah.
you have to decide whether that technique fits your painting style. If it
Yeah.
doesn't, it's like Jeet Kune Do.
The hell's that?
That's Bruce Lee.
Bruce
Oh,
Lee's martial art. You take what works and you throw away what doesn't, and it matters. And it matters about what works for you.
And then Egg
This
Chan at the beginning
technique-
of Big Trouble in Little China, he's like, your
Love
salad
that guy.
bar is like you take what you want and you leave the rest.
Right, and that painting is like that. If you're and it really depends on what you're painting. If you're painting 40K epic scale guys, stuff, you're gonna paint different than if you were painting, 28 millimeter
Yeah.
Warhammer
And if you paint
40K.
historical, and I know Brian, you paint historicals.
Yeah.
You get those guys, they call them rivet counters, right? Rivet counters.
Oh yeah.
They want to make sure
Ah.
that the shade of green that you're using for your Japanese Marines is the
That's
right
true.
shade of green.
Dude,
for your Japanese
I'm
Marines.
I'm bad about that, dude. It's like, I'm weird World War II, but I want weird World War II kind of tempered in like in the historical reality, right?
Right.
And
You want the verisimilitude of history with the weirdness thrown in on top.
exactly. I want straight
Not
historical, yeah, not
you
just
don't want Japanese wearing purple uniforms or
Exactly.
carrying or dressed like samurai from the Edo period. That's
exactly.
not
And that's why
appropriate
I can't.
because it's
I
not
can't do
historic.
historicals.
That's right.
I joke that I'm not old enough to do historicals.
You got
It
some
takes
gray hair in you. You're fine, dude.
Yeah, but no, it takes I think it does. It takes that degree of rivet counting.
It
Hey.
does.
You have to remember, a lot of those guys, Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax and all those guys, they all started out as war gamers.
It's true, they did.
They were, and you can see it in the rules with all the weird things. You say, why is the rule like this? And when you say, well, they were tabletop war gamers, and you're like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is your
Now
weapon?
I understand why this rule is like this, because it came directly from, the old school, like Napoleonic. Oh, we're gonna fight the Battle of whatchamacallit for the 97th time. What
Well,
happens if Napoleon puts his cannons on this hill instead, and the Russians don't have their artillery? How does the battle different? That's the thing that historical guys do, and they play the same battle 9 million times in their lifetime, so that Napoleon can finally take Moscow and win and can defeat the Russians.
Yeah, see, I always screw with the historical guys. I'm like, you're doing something different, right? I'm like, oh, so you're playing Weird War, huh? And they're like, no. I'm like, dude, yeah, you're playing non-historical. Napoleon wasn't there. He wasn't there at that time. Those units weren't there because I could say that shit, and they're like, well, this is like an alternative. I'm like, dude, that's fucking Weird War, man. Awesome.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. If you're not playing the battle, now you could make different decisions.
I did send you the link. And RPG Grandma, if you want to jump in, the link to the video is in the description of the video. Down or up or in between, wherever the heck it is. You can look at the description of the video. The link is there for the stream.
See, look at you, man. You got all sorts of people wanting to be on your channel.
So, yeah, the only rule is you got to wear clothes. And
pants.
I'd like it if you could keep it PG-13, and which means you get one F-bomb. Save it.
I've already expended my allotment.
And
you can have my F-bomb, Brian.
Yeah, we're gonna like start like selling off our F-bombs to each other.
It's like a
marketplace.
You could buy an F-bomb credit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I did promise an AMA, so if you have any questions for me, if there's anything you've been curious about, now's a good time to ask.
What are you painting right now, Bo?
Same thing I always paint. I always paint Pinky. My bootleg Renegade Inquisitorial Retinue. Right now, I am batch painting all of the guns. I use charcoal gray for the guns. And I'm just going to slap a bunch of charcoal gray on all of them. And then when it dries, I'll go through and do some highlighting. And then I'll go back through and I'll touch up the armor and the backpacks. And I'm doing that black still, sort of black. We're making some progress. So somebody wants to.
Is that a 50 millimeter?
Yeah, it's a Type 1 40 millimeter anti-tank gun. Yeah.
Okay. The 40 millimeter. Okay, so that's a 2-pounder ish.
Yep. Japanese.
Oh boy, we're in a remarkable company. We've got the.
I used to have.
I gotta say, RPG Grandma, ever since I first saw you on I don't know whose stream it was or your videos, I've been very impressed by both the breadth and the depth of your game knowledge. You and you and the cat here need to get together and talk about the old games. Like I said, like the old Arneson stuff, the old Barker stuff. You know, Petalum, and Arduin.
Pedal Throne.
To me, that's like the golden age of role playing gaming.
Well, I don't think I'm all that. I just, played games off and on, and all kinds of games, not just RPGs and war games and things. And it's not like I consider myself, the font of all knowledge. There's a lot I don't know.
Never said that. Just said that I had a lot of respect for your contributions to our little YouTube community.
I do want people to legitimately, no matter how old they are, 6-year-olds to you're 101, if you find yourself going, I want to play this game, not to be intimidated, not to do it. Whether it's Battleship or D&D or Traveler or an actual war game that's historic. I want people to know you're never too old and you're never too young, and it's okay to have fun. In fact, especially today, man, with everybody's stress levels, they need hobbies. They lose it if they don't have a hobby, and if they can't separate, take themselves out of reality a little bit, and go off and just de-stress. I mean, it doesn't have to be even RPGs. It could be just making models and painting stuff. But I want them to have that opportunity to know it's okay, to know that there's all these people out there, that there's a community, and there's a few people who are unpleasant, but for the majority, we're all pretty cool. And so we want you to have fun too.
So wholesome. Wholesome.
And just like painting miniatures, role-playing games and board games, whatever. I have some board games that I play with my nieces and nephews every Thanksgiving. It's a tradition that we get out. We get out. We have the big family gathering here at my house, and then we play a game of Talisman or Betrayal at House on the Hill.
That's a good game.
Or and we play a game as because I'm the the fun uncle in the family. I have no kids of my own.
You're a funkle, all right.
And fungal. And so we play and we'll try games. We'll try other games, and if the game is fun, it stays in the rotation. If it's not fun, we don't play it again.
Right.
So whether you're going to play a role-playing game or a board game or a social card games, whatever you're going to do, if you like the game, play it. If you don't like the game, don't play it.
You can't get out.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing, when was it the 80s or the 90s? But anyway, at some point, a long time ago for some people, Friday night family game night was a thing.
Oh yeah, Milton Bradley made a big thing of it.
It was being heavily promoted by everybody.
Yeah,
and I that needs to come back. A family game night. You don't have to do it on Friday, obviously, if that doesn't work out for you. But it brings your whole family together. It can bring extended family members together even, and it teaches socialization skills. Which is sad, just horribly, missing in our society right now. It's sad when you look back and think, man, I was that awkward kid, and back then, the nerdy kid that I was had more socialization skills than the adults currently on the internet. What the heck?
Yeah, that is true. Oh my goodness. My phone. I can't live without my phone. I can't talk to you sitting next to me. I have to text you.
Do you have a different opinion?
The hell?
I gotta dox you now. Destroy your life.
No, that's the thing is there's people are so unsocialized that they can't even hold a face-to-face conversation with their own family members. What the hell?
You know,
Because this has taken over their lives.
right. And I love social media. I'm on it.
Well,
But
We're gonna make you famous, Grandma. We're gonna make you famous.
and
Be careful.
phones today, this is more powerful than my first 3 desktop computers.
Combined.
More, when your
it's crazy,
phone
right?
But my
More
phone is
powerful than the
really dying.
More powerful than the computer on the first moon lander.
more
What?
powerful than the computers they used to get to the moon. How's that? That's crazy.
Come on.
So I've been making a series of videos. I'm taking a break so I can paint with both.
My phone is not charging, and it's going to cut the stream
And
off.
I'm answering questions that somebody sort of posed concerning the live stream that I was in. So building off of those questions to explore what's going on when people are doing when we're role playing in general, but also when we're doing virtual live streaming stuff and role playing. So check them out. Let me know what you guys think.
What are you painting?
A spaceship.
You
I got
rock.
So wholesome.
I got me a war game.
What'd you get?
It's sitting here in a box. I want to have cool fleets when I want them all painted up when so I got a lot of work to do when I showcase it.
What game is it?
Red
Right
Alert.
here, Red
Isn't
Alert.
that
Oh,
I've
it's
never
a Rick
played
and
it.
Morty game? Oh my God, I've been looking for that forever. He did the original Mutant Chronicles, Siege of the Citadel.
Yeah, I had to get this from Europe.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's a toughie. Didn't he just pass
But
away a while back?
he may have. I am a super busy person, so sometimes I find out about stuff way after the fact. But I got some expansions that go with it. I got to make sure I hunt down everything else. But I wanted a completed war game, ship game that I can hopefully, even if nothing else is made from it, add fleets and add stuff too. So we'll see how Granny does that, because I have a whole flying saucer fleet already painted. And you gotta have flying saucers, right? In
absolutely.
a space game.
What else are the Martians flying?
Right. I needed my Martian Navy, straight up. It doesn't matter, it didn't come with the game. I made it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I'm primering this ship. It doesn't look too bad as far as needing any work on it. So I didn't do any real heavy duty prep. And I'm just going to try to get a bunch
I don't know
of
if I
stuff
can put
in.
anymore. Somebody else wants on.
Did they come pre-painted?
Yeah, I pushed the
Grandma.
wrong button, guys. Sorry.
It happens.
Hey, Grandma.
Yes.
Hey, Grandma.
Did
Hey, what?
those ships come pre-painted, or
No.
were they all in the white?
They come in 2 colors to represent the 2 factions that they have in the game.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
So one's green. All the ships on the one side are green, and these are I think these are like the admiral ships. I don't know, I have to look which, but they're bigger ones. So I started with these. And so this is the green style and this is the red style of the same type of ship.
Okay.
Hey,
And
this
you
is the
want
time
the-
I'm doing a whole Starship month. You're gonna have to come on and do like a review of that before the month's over. I'm showing off all my starships from way back.
Oh, okay. I got to
Do
get
you-
caught up on your videos. It's been crazy at my job.
Do you
Well, my
remember?
videos-
Do you remember Starfleet Wars by Superior Models?
I know I played FASA. I know
No,
we
this
played.
was
I
way
think we have
before
Ring
that.
Commanders losing around
This
here,
was way
and we
before.
probably
I
have
think this was before that.
bits and pieces of various space games. Some of them are different Star
They were
Trek.
they were originally lead miniatures.
Oh
Wow.
wait, I know what you're talking about. I didn't get any of those ever, and I was like so sad about it. But they're cool. I remember those.
The capital ships are, I kid you not, more than a pound of lead each, and I've got all
Yeah,
6.
they're huge, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
You can still get them on Monday Night Productions. You can get the game, the minis, but the big flagships are all now resin, whereas all the rest are like a white metal. And I've got
Good.
like
I don't want
every
big
chip.
heavy metal minis.
You don't want what,
Pardon?
Bo?
Big heavy metal minis.
Oh,
Oh,
You
I
don't-
do. Oh, I do.
you
They're
don't-
freaking awesome.
what's that?
You
You don't
can-
want
you can
minis
literally
that will
bring
break your
it out
glass
with-
table?
I don't want minis
You-
that are going to fall and dent into their own weight.
Yeah, they would do that. Like I said, you could bring a cow with them.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like such an expensive investment. I mean,
I remember
even
the-
with some of the larger minis that I have that are in, white metal, I think, I don't want to dent them. I don't want to break them. And most of the ones, my big minis are all resin, epoxied and pinned together. But I still treat them kind of gingerly on the table.
Sure. I've had most of these for decades, so they didn't really cost much, but I'm always looking out for more. I've got Superior Models as a saved search just because they're so impressive on the table. The sculpts are actually quite awesome.
Oh, really? That's great.
They're,
That's
they're,
well,
they're,
one of-
they're,
I think that'll be.
they're kind of simplistic, but there's some that are all triangles like Star Destroyers. There's some that have like lots of little domes on them. There's this one fleet, the
Good.
Carnivore fleet, that they're
I
just-
have I have tanks for for that game. When you talk about the carnivores, the carnivores are triangular
what was the
shaped,
name of the
kind
game?
of.
I have that too. I have all that
I-
crap too. What was
I
it
don't know.
called?
I got them secondhand back in
Oh,
'87.
Yeah,
I got
I
some.
wish
I got some ships from someplace that look like skeletons.
Yeah, but do you
Oh,
guys have a
wow.
bunch? Do you guys have 40 Japanese World War II zombies? I don't think so.
No.
Right
I
here,
wish.
baby. In your face. Suck
Well,
on
one of the
that,
reasons I picked
Shadow.
up this game is if I want to play old Star Frontiers Nighthawks rules, these ships are the right size too.
I have all the original Star Frontiers. Does
And I
anybody
had
remember
a
a game?
fleet.
Do you remember Galactic Tactic by Pewtercraft?
No.
Probably seen it. This is the first
Okay,
time I've actually
check this
gotten
out.
it.
Back when I was like 25 years old, I got a hold of that company.
Oh, man.
Damn it.
And they needed line drawings of all their ships. So I
Ooh.
produced them with the line drawings for all the ships, and I got a crap
cool.
and
Shadow.
I got
Awesome.
and I got a crap ton of their miniatures. And over the years, that collection got whittled down to about 4 or 5 ships. Well, a buddy of mine just he bought the molds after they went out of business, told me about it, and said, "Hey, do you want any of these?" I said, "Yeah," because I help work on the game company. And he says, "Well, because I'm getting ready to sell the molds," and I'm like, "Make me like a bunch of everything." And he's about ready to send me those ships. After 30 some odd years, I will get them back into my collection, but in white metal. And all I have to do is trade up a half a dozen old lead miniatures that he needs so that he can make molds of them to get them back into production as well.
Ah,
So-
your buddy's the recaster.
wow.
You betcha.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I gotta kick this guy.
Who is this guy?
I don't know. This guy's in the comments, so I'm just. I just.
Oh, hold on. Let me see the comments first.
I already banned it.
Oh, damn. Was he being a jerk?
No, he's being naughty.
Being a jerk?
Oh, does he?
Hold on, my bad.
Was he sounding like that guy from my show on Saturday nights?
No, but it was saying something about aunts and uncles, and I wasn't having it.
Mm. Good for you. Oh, hey, speaking of, I'm not doing a show tonight because Jackie's going out of town, and he wanted to be part of part 2 of the Eldritch Horror discussion.
Well,
As a matter of fact,
Man, I don't know if I can live without Saturday Night Sci-Fi Talkathon.
You know what? If I can come up with another topic between now and 6:30, so in like 6 hours, if I come up with a topic, we'll do that instead. Just going out of town.
Hey, Shadow. The use of technology to make your modern games better.
I'm stealing that idea for Gatekeepers.
Oh,
Okay.
How about what happens when giant robots come out of closets and bite your character in half?
Dude, that was
I've
so
seen
much
that
fun
movie.
last night.
It's called Hardware.
You know what? Man,
Does anybody have Cyborg Commander?
The clamp.
No,
Those kind of
for me,
bummed.
throw my grenade.
Open the closet, and then the closet. There's 2 robots inside. They're like big giant, Bender Rodriguez from Futurama, and they grab onto him with 14 strength, and just start crushing him.
I was kind of bummed with Mark. I just got through saving his life, in the previous room, and then he's like AFK or something, or still stunned from the previous room. But I'll live. I'll live.
Goes in the shower. Goes in the shower that night, and he's just like, giant claws, robots, closets. That was great. Chuckling to himself.
Yeah, they were closets, all right, full of claws.
Dad
God
joke.
damn, that's a dad joke. Wow.
Now, I always told you guys the game could take a deadly turn.
No, I was actually very happy. I
like
wouldn't have been as
social
happy if I
contract,
died. Right? Hey, going down to 1 hit point is very memorable.
That's a good game. That's a good game.
Especially if the hit points are few and far between.
Prior to this,
And to be fair, had I died, I probably would have had to wait several sessions before I could have legitimately joined the game. So it's for the best.
No, we would have made one of the robot characters for you.
Oh, could I have been a ghost robot? Could I have been a ghost robot like Adventure Brothers?
Ghost of the But yeah, I was telling Omen, I always anticipated this game would eventually grow into characters that were not, of the Drop Troopers. You'd have a sort of a My Man Friday feel to it. That's where the Frank's going to come from.
Right.
Or the Kroot, or whatever it ends up being.
because wherever we go, the advantageous to bringing in characters who aren't humans.
Yeah, and I've got like what is it, like 14 or 16 experience points saved up, and that would suck to die without getting to spend those.
Well, actually, you can. It is legal to spend experience points in GURPS to not die.
Really?
That is the thing. You can spend some experience points to not die if you have experience points saved up.
Well, what
That sounds.
What game system are you playing in, guys, for the sci-fi game?
It's I don't want to say homebrew because GURPS is not a homebrew. It's 99% GURPS 4th edition, but I'm using a few 3rd edition things as they come up.
No, that's understandable. That's what you do when you DM.
And it's all grandma. It's a sort of a hard sci-fi. Well, it's not not completely hard, but it's sort of a
really hard.
Heinlein dropship troopers with elements from 40K and Aliens and Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and every Roger Corman movie ever. and every other weird thing that comes into my twisted brain.
That's the best game.
And
Been a lot of fun so far.
Of all the people that I've talked to online, I think that the three that I would always add to the game are you, Brian from Weird World War II, and Hungar if you wanted to play. You know,
The problem is
Hungar
my
could be all
time.
around.
And don't forget Jackie.
I'll bring in Jackie if Jackie wants to, but Jackie's busy with school. If Jack said he wanted to play, I would find a way to make him play. Let him. Encourage him.
Well, we do have that template we worked up
Well, we also have a couple of other.
sitting on my computer right now.
We also have a couple of Space Marine characters that are waiting in the wings that we never used. A couple of
Yeah, we still need that assault man. We really do.
Assault Man.
Hey, I sent you
Yeah.
that,
Assault woman, as the case may be.
Bo. I sent you that that
what?
character idea. What'd you think of that one?
I don't recall that up there. Did you email that to me?
I did on your Discord. It's on your Discord messages.
Let me check again because it must have slipped through the cracks when I was, like I said, I sacrifice my personal health for the sake of, I'm afraid that I'm going to die before I get to do all the things that I want to do.
That's a legit
I
fear.
wish I was being facetious. So honestly, this is my day. I work from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I get home at about 8:15. On days that I do not have to go back to work, I sleep until noon. Okay, how many hours is that? That's about 3 hours of sleep. I get up, I go to the gym until about 2. I get home at 2, I cook dinner or lunch or do chores, do laundry, wash dishes, and then if I can do any hobby stuff between then and about 11 o'clock at night, I do that. If I have to go back to work, then I try to sleep, and I don't go to the gym on those days. But what I'm saying is, I would rather be awake and doing things than be asleep.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, but Bo, you're missing one key thing, and you of all people should know this. If you run yourself ragged, you will die before you get all that shit done, and it'll be because you didn't get enough rest.
I'm not
That's the
saying
thing is being too mission orientated.
there's nothing rational about it, my brother. This ain't rational.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
that's the first step in admitting you've got a problem. Now I'm going to prescribe some hot tea and some sort of massage therapy from your lady friend there, and insist that you get at least 4 hours a day.
Just watch C-SPAN. If you're tired and can't sleep, put on C-SPAN. You will fall asleep in like 5 minutes.
Or in the early hours, if you have insomnia, NASA TV where they're just wandering around the control room, right? And there's absolutely nothing going on. You're just watching like one or two dudes wander around, and every so often it goes.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what's going around. And then add insomnia into the mix, and now we're having real fun.
Yeah. Now I get being super busy, man. People, one time somebody told my husband that I was lazy because I wasn't at the gym,
Yeah.
and they seen that the yard hadn't been mowed or something, right? And my husband goes, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, your wife just must be lazy. She doesn't, if she's not doing whatever they were saying that I wasn't doing." And so my husband just started clicking through my day. He goes, "Well, in that particular year, I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning. My wife gets up at 3:30 a.m. She has to make breakfast, get dressed, become human, and make a lunch. Then she drives to work. Then she works for like 16 hours, but gets paid for 8.
Hey guys, what do you think?
I don't know. Everything's so small on the screen. I can't. Is that a ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Planet
sweet.
Killer. Planet Killer
Nice.
from
That's
Games
gonna be
Workshop.
bigger than
I
this
love
one.
painting. It's so nice to be painting.
Probably forget.
Does anything go in that black bowl on top?
No, it's a hole.
Oh, it's a hole through the ship. Okay.
Yeah.
Does it go around the planet?
I know. No, I wish. I'm thinking of getting like a little, like really cool little marble and placing it in there and suspending it like
that
it's a
would look
power
cool.
plant.
That would look
especially
cool.
if you could get something. If you could get something that was small that had that could light up, and then you could change the
You know what?
batteries around.
had something. I had like this little ball that if you
PG,
dropped
right,
it, it would do that.
PG? Okay.
But I don't know what happened to it. And then here's the Emperor's flagship.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, that's the 40K.
Emperor
Oh, that's
who?
cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I know those pieces. That's a great fleet.
I mean, how?
Well, the one's chaos.
would you have to be for that?
Okay, now this one is my favorite. It's a Necron. It's a Necron tomb ship.
Oh, that's
With the little pyramid on here. Freaking, this is my favorite ship of all time.
That looks like
Just
something out of Stargate.
I love
it
cool
does.
space fleet.
No, it's like how somebody's sitting around one day and they're looking at like a cathedral. They're looking at Notre Dame and say, "How would that look as a spaceship?"
See this one right here?
Yeah.
The cheapest one of these I've seen on eBay is 200 pounds.
That's ridiculous, and that's why I'm a big fan of kit bashing. Counts as you could buy STLs of those on Thingiverse for like
I know.
$10.
I bought this. I bought each one of these for like $32 at a Games Workshop. Not even a Games Workshop. Brookhurst Hobbies. Like when they first came out. And
Yeah, I gotta get on the. Go ahead. I'm talking about
Sorry.
you. That's weird.
They're the only ones I saved, except a couple of Eldar ships and the Blackstone Fortress, which is basically just a giant chaos symbol.
Yeah, I like that. No,
I
I
like
just
the original. I like the original space fleet ships. I don't like the cathedral crap. I like when the Eldar were like sailing ship looking things.
Oh, you know what? I used to have that game. I just saw a copy of that game where you actually had to roll the dice in the box with the tic-tac-toe pattern.
Yep.
My buddy and I played that game relentlessly. Oh my God, we played that game so much. We made up rules for exploration to build empires, and oh my God, we played that for like 2 years. That's all we played every like lunchtime, and I've kept these just because I like starship models. I have hundreds and hundreds of spaceship miniatures from every game imaginable. You name it, I probably have something. And I just kept these, and I was just looking at them in my cabinets, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm doing Starship Month. Got to break these out, show them out. And DM James was talking about starting to play Battlefleet Gothic, and I'm like, I wonder what that costs. Oh my God, is that just insane?
Well, you can tell if Games Workshop puts out anything really, really, really cool, they're going to discontinue it.
Yeah. And you know, I can literally sell this ship. I can literally sell this ship and buy almost any other game. Freaking insane.
The ships are cool in there.
My favorite ships, like in sci-fi, would probably be Babylon 5 ships. As a whole,
they had some good ones. I actually
kept some great looking ships.
I kept the Centauri giant freaking double, like a bat wing with two big guns in the front. I kept that one.
Yeah,
I kept the space station. I kept the space station that's like this freaking big, solid metal.
Channel. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys.
And then
no,
I got rid of all the rest of them. And I don't know why. Oh, I know why, because they were at the time they were selling like freaking crazy prices. And like, I was selling the White Star. You remember the White Star from Battlestar Galactica?
Oh, yeah. Battlestar was badass too. Those ships are great.
Yeah, but they're all, you can't find them in metal. I don't think they've ever been metal minis.
Star Blazers had a fantastic design too.
I've got like dozens of the little little model kits that I
Those are
actually
great.
used as because they were like $5 a piece. I bought like 100 of them, and then I started selling them off like a
Yeah.
dumbass.
I don't know who did it, but someone did a space combat game of Star Blazers because I
I think
played
it was Yaquinto.
It was pretty good.
Yaquinto, I don't know. It's got a Q in the middle.
Quinto. Yes. YAQINTO.
I had all that shit too.
That's cool.
They did a lot of what they call album games, which was like the size of a record album, and it was usually a board game, but it had all the shits and everything, and they were fantasy and
Really?
sci-fi. Oh yeah. Let's see, that's mixed, but I think
Yeah,
the other
I've
ones are
made
down
some
in
dumb-
here.
Dumb selling mistakes. So, folks out there, if you've got something, make sure you really are never going to play it again. Otherwise,
There they
you will
are.
change your mind
I was
years
just talking
later.
about that. Yeah.
See, that's what the cat here. His channel is going to be talking about games that you never heard of, or likely not present company, but that the
Maybe.
kids have never heard of.
I mean, I have some
You
pretty
guys-
obscure stuff.
Guys, ever played with these?
Turn aside, like,
Oh, I can't see the screen.
No.
wow, that's gorgeous.
I don't know what that is.
They're big.
This one,
too.
this is how they came in the box too. By these have not been fixed up. I mean, they came kind of at least shadowed and everything.
That's cool.
And this is the other ship, on the other side of the same side. You know what game this is?
No.
This is one I'm so sad that got discontinued. It had so much potential, but I kept it because I love the fleet.
What is it?
Don't keep us in suspense, Grandma. We
Yeah,
ain't getting any younger.
Bo might die before he finds out.
I might.
Battleship.
Really?
Battleship?
It is a giant tactical battleship game with Starfleet fields
Huh.
and everything. And remember when they came out
Wow.
with that movie Battleship? And they gave
Yeah.
Earth a Starfleet, and they gave the aliens a Starfleet to fight it out in space.
Interesting.
And they have cards. It had so much potential, and they just made it, and then they never did anything more with it.
That's too bad.
Sadly, who made this game?
Who made it?
I'm looking. Yeah, Hasbro.
Hasbro?
Yeah, Hasbro. So, yeah,
Why
and
don't
you
you
get your little battleship board.
Okay,
and
okay.
everything.
Grandma, do you remember this one?
All right,
The
which
Royal Armies of the Hyberian Age. Yes, I actually do. I've seen that one before.
Wargamer's Guide to the Age of Conan.
That's awesome
Lynn Carter and Scott Bizarre.
Lynn Carter.
I have never got to play this one. Probably never will.
Lynn Carter is one of the authors?
Yep.
Wow.
Who's Lynn Carter?
He was one of the
Is
guys
that-
that took over all of Robert E. Howard stuff later on.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of got mixed opinions.
Like stole it or just
Well,
like
kind of stole it.
yeah?
Only kind of, sort of.
I found what I was looking for.
A
These
better
minis,
map so you can breathe.
I know.
Did you get a haircut?
me?
Yeah.
A while ago.
Good
A
for
week
you.
and a half? All right, so here are the minis I have. You talked about the Predator fleet,
The Carnivore.
the Carnivore. This is a Carnivore medium tank. Oh, doesn't want to show.
Oh, nice.
It's like a
Can I
Ferengi something.
And you have to get up to that.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna find out the name of that game because I have a crap ton of that stuff. There are some weird ass looking vehicles for that game.
You
Weird.
mean like this?
Is that like Prodos or Probos or some shit?
No,
Fun.
no. Hold on. Just give me a minute to
Turret
warm up
mode.
the other device. I've got both of those. I probably got a couple of each.
This is a Predator scout vehicle. This is a heavy tank. And this is the grand monster of heavy tank for the carnivores.
The ogre.
All painted up and in
Hell yeah.
Is that an ogre or?
no,
I've
these
got
are
one of
not.
I've got that one too. I've got them all, dude.
So this is and I painted them up in like spots and stripes because they're predators. Imagine that.
Carnivores.
Then I have the avian ship.
The avians. They got spots on them too.
Yeah, but they're different spots.
Oh.
They're ground spots.
Oh, okay.
I only have a few of these. I've only got the light.
Cat,
Or very light,
we've all gone through the
medium.
spot phase.
Squirrel, if you want to jump in, I think I got room for one more.
Oh God, you know why I couldn't remember it?
The link is in the description of the video, Squirrel. You're welcome.
Why is that?
Kevin, it's
Yeah?
called MAATAC, MATAC.
That's it. How about some amphibians?
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
the aquarian,
They
the
got
Avarian, the carnivore, the entomolian, and the Terran.
I have never seen. I got all these secondhand in 1987.
Well,
Yeah,
They
it'd be
were
better.
they were all in the white. I don't have any rules for them.
The rules are available on Monday Night Productions, and the rules are from the 1980s. How much is the damn book? It's $10.
Yeah, these are the
On a
water.
C- on a CD-ROM.
These are the water people. And I only have two types.
Yeah, on
These
a
are the-
CD.
These are the avians. So that would be the air people, and I've got 3 types of those, and only a couple of each.
Yeah, I've got everything you've got there. I might even have
And then
some
I
extras
got-
I could throw your way if you're ever
And then I got
interested
a
in
bunch of
playing
I got more of the carnivores. Oh, I'm not interested. I just got these. They were given to me, and I've just had them because they're interesting. Because I collect a lot of interesting things. And so I've been lugging these around. I got them when I was in Germany from another American, and I've just had them ever since.
Yeah, that's if you're curious for any of those ships or other stuff. They've got a lot of other interesting games.
I mean, these are the kind of things and these are all solid lead because that's that's what they were in the era. Everything was lead back then.
I don't got a problem with lead.
As long as it's painted and well sealed, so it
It's
doesn't
fine.
crumble.
Just don't chew on it. You'll be all right.
Well,
Yeah,
you don't
don't-
want to either,
Don't eat it.
because some of that stuff will crumble into dust.
So Shadow, you being a
Yeah,
connoisseur,
these are all well primered. These were primered with Partha paint with Partha primer,
Right.
and then I painted them partially. Most of them are half painted. Some of them aren't painted at all.
Shadow, you being a connoisseur of minis and shit, man. So have you ventured outside of the States and England to hit some of the like German products and the Spanish products and all that stuff?
Yeah, I've got, I'm friends with Tom Dye from Minifigs and a couple other folks who are constantly, James L from Australia, constantly referring me to great companies all over the freaking place.
Oh, that's cool.
I need a
my
friend in
problem is,
Australia to ship me a ship. I kid you not.
Yeah, what I usually do is I see the company, write it down in my book, then I go if I really like something, then I go on eBay looking for the same thing, because the shipping, I can bypass the shipping. I don't care if they're already painted. I picked up a bunch of Flash Gordon minis that were already painted, and they were painted better than I could paint them. So I'm like,
Oh, I remember
cool,
those.
done
Those
deal.
are good.
I'm like, they did the eyes and everything. Crap, I just would just pass on, and they're beautiful. I'm looking at some things from I think North Star and another company that has some like pulp characters like the
Yeah,
Shadow.
North Star is good.
North Star has really reasonable shipping though from England. It's
Oh,
like
yeah, it does. So does Eureka. Eureka from Australia. Surprisingly, their shipping is pretty fair and it's fast.
I got a bunch of stuff from Perry Brothers too, but I might have gotten the Perry Brothers stuff from the Michigan War Company.
Hey, you guys remember me talking? Oh, sorry. You remember me talking about the Frisbee of Death?
It rings a bell.
Isn't that hard ticket to Hawaii and that weapon he throws in that one?
Yeah. I found the miniature from alternate armies.
Oh,
If Bo can make me bigger.
Well, let me try.
The Frisbee of Death. You gotta love sci-fi and fantasy stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Looks like a Space Marine.
oh yeah,
It
he's definitely
certainly does.
throwing a
Look at that.
They're
definitely
called
throwing a
Crusaders, I
frisbee.
think is what they call them.
Oh, he is throwing a frisbee. It's
Yep, the
Tron.
Frisbee of Death. Everybody needs the Frisbee of Death in their games.
That's
How
hilarious.
do we make it work?
And it's got these subtle details on the Frisbee of Death that really give you the impression that it's pretty much remote control kind of thing. You know, maybe that's just my head canon, but you know, this guy, I've literally stripped it and repainted it 4 times, just because I've had it since I was a teenager, and I'm just like, no, I can do better. No, I can do better.
Those guys
Right,
rifles
right.
with bayonets, right? Aren't there like
Vinny
those
Warmut, I'm sorry
bayonets
you
fixed
couldn't join
on the-
in, but you have fun with the dog groomer. Because I'm sure
Who's
dog
that, Squirrel?
groomer is much more fun than hanging out with cool people and painting minis.
Who's leaving?
I'm telling you.
Mini Warmut ducked into the chat for a minute, saying he's taking his dog to the groomers.
Oh.
We are painting and
Yes.
chatting.
Yes, you do.
I'm not
George.
painting.
I'm supposed to
I
be
haven't-
cleaning the kitchen. I got to go do that later.
Yeah,
I haven't painted in 30 years.
What
But
are
we
those,
Time.
Kev? What are those you're showing off?
All right. These
I'm
are
painting-
all original sculpts from Ralph Partha.
Nice.
These, when BattleTech became very popular, Ralph Partha had some sculpts of non-existent mechs made, except for this one, and it never had a miniature. It's the Flea, but it's a little. It looks like a Star Wars Landwalker.
Yeah, I know the flea. It's like a 22.
You know, a little 2020 looks like a Landwalker. It's got it's got a big boxy turret, got some guns, machine guns and stuff. And these never had names except for this one. This one is the Thorn, and it later became a Canon mech, but it doesn't look like this anymore.
It's in the 2750 boat.
Yeah, and it's also
Pretty cool.
like a 20-ton or 25-ton. This one's a Gladiator, which is a knockoff Crusader.
Right.
It's a lightweight Crusader.
Right.
It's got LRM 10s and SRM 4s instead of the full LRM 20s and SRM 6s.
Right. Which is
Do
what
any of you guys remember? Since some of you guys are Steve Jackson fans, or were, do you remember Steve Jackson's Space Knights?
No,
I do not.
Made by Ralph
That's
Partha.
what I didn't see.
I played that.
It was never a game. It was just a line of miniatures.
I do not
As far as
recall
I know.
that.
I thought they had one of those small booklet games.
Pocket game.
If they
It
do,
might
I
have
want a
been in
copy.
my knowledge.
Okay. Because I have I have 2 of every blister pack except one. They had these fantastic, they called them Lancers. They were like paladins in space versus predecessors to the Necrons. I kid you not. And these other really cool aliens. But they had these Lancers on grav bikes.
Nice.
that were really sleek, and I've never opened them up. One because they're
What scale?
impossible to find.
Hey, do you have any
They're also
Cryomech
25.
stuff?
You know what? I might.
If they're 28 mil, let's pop them open and paint them.
They're 25. They're 25.
I was gonna say if they're
Same anyway.
Good
Yeah,
anyway.
man,
any-
those
what's the
bio
date
ones
on the
they have,
bottom?
those are badass, man.
Life's too short, man. Pop them open and paint them.
The thing is, I'm getting ready to do a bunch of Galacta stuff, and if I get to Texas, there's always a Galacta game at ReaperCon. I don't know why, but there's always a Galacta game, and I want to break out like some kick-ass stuff. And the cool thing about Galacta is you build every miniature, on paper. You look at a miniature and you follow the rules. Does it have this? Does it have that? And you just build whatever. You can literally make your army one guy, okay? Yep. Just by pumping in, all kinds of gear and abilities, right? Or you can just have a bunch of dudes and robots and aliens and crap, all 25 mil scale. And I want to drop those lancers onto the table. Just go.
You just missed ReaperCon. That was like a couple weekends ago or last week.
I know.
I gotta go get one of my teenagers from work, guys. So I'm popping out.
All right.
I'll
Bye,
be back.
Grandma.
Thanks for coming
All right,
on. Lends
back
my little
soon.
table Gravitas.
Yeah, she's awesome. Like I said, guys, gonna make her famous, whether she likes it or not. The world needs more people like her.
Check out. I think you can still get Cryomech product. I don't remember who's doing it.
Isn't it by Scotia or something like that in Scotland?
Oh, it might be. I want to say it was. I think that was. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're right. But they got like a ton of like resin vehicles, dude, and
yes.
Hold
on. I got one right here, man.
I
got one right here.
Yeah. Is that a Cryomech? No, that's not Cryomech.
I think I
That's Krolek or some shit like that.
Oh, Cromlech?
no.
Cromlech?
No. It's
No?
oh shit. I just bought this recently because I found a second one. I had one in my collection. I actually did an eBay video on it because I got the guy to reduce the shipping by taking it out of the box and just sending me the pieces. So I saved like $15, having a priority.
Because it would have been a bigger box, and so that cost much more money.
And I already had one box. I already had the original box for one, and I wanted to put one together. So I'm just like, you send me it without the box. He's like, oh my God, that's so much cheaper. You don't want the box? No. Go ahead and sell it on eBay if you want. I'm not paying for that.
Sure. People are doing that, buying boxes of shit.
Empty boxes, yeah. I was going looking for Man of War because of DM James, and people were just selling empty boxes for like $10. I'm like, you're freaking kidding me. I guess because people want to store them because they had cool styrofoam inserts. I'm like, but yeah, that's stupid. I mean, unless you're keeping it to resell, there's no point. Like up above our here, Jackie's got all of his Lego Hero Factory boxes and Bionicle boxes and stuff because he kept everything in pristine shape. All the instructions, all the little ad inserts, all the pieces. He can just box them up, put them on eBay, and make bank because weirdos like us who are into Legos want that stuff in pristine conditions. Like, cool.
Man,
Or he can re-gift them to his kid, in 20 years and go, look, Hero Factory. And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, just play with it. You'll love it. If kids still play with toys in the future, God, I'm so impressed going down the toy aisle in like Walmart or Target.
Jack into the VR console and like put in their catheter and their feeding tube, and then they're off.
The Matrix.
Yeah,
we're jacking ourselves into the Matrix.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, we're actually interacting with live people. Well, except for Kevin, and faces.
Hey.
And hey, is that your real face?
No,
Did you just wear out on us?
The name. No outing me on stream, man. I got a secret ID to uphold.
Who's watching this anyway?
I don't know. My screen don't say that. Hey, you need to make me a moderator, man, and vice versa.
If I knew how, hold on.
Is there somebody doing stupid shit? Hey,
No,
there's
just
squirrel. Yeah, get Brian, get on here, dude.
He said he's growing the dog.
He's what?
Grooming the dog. That's new code.
That's that.
Hey. I think we got that guy. Somebody new.
You weirdo.
Who is Michael Hushey?
I don't know. I banned him.
Well, I'm seeing him in the chat.
I know, but he
In the
can't. His comment. I thought I removed all of his comments. Oh, I didn't. I removed not all of his comments, I guess.
Denied.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, come on, man.
Maybe
You
he's
got
one of
nothing
my
better to
guys.
do?
Maybe he came from my channel.
He's
I'd
great.
ban him twice if I could. If he came from your channel, he's probably got the space herpes or something.
Oh, you know what? Now he's going to show up on my show tonight. You watch.
We'll ban him there too.
Give him a chance, Shadow. He might just be misunderstood.
Yeah, he's misunderstood.
Yeah, he's misunderstood. All right.
Oh, hey, there
Hey,
it is.
Bo, how cool is this shit?
I don't know. How cool is it?
I got some circle shit.
You go let your
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man, so I played that. I never bought into it, but I had a buddy that bought the box set and some of the expansions. He even got an army of skinnies, dude.
That's awesome.
Wow.
What game is that?
Starship Troopers. I'm popping it open now. My friend Graham. Well, he's everybody's friend. Sent it to me as part of a trade for some
It's a
Archon
solid
stuff.
system, man. It's a solid wargaming system.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's good.
You know what though? It might have been a solid system, but the owner, designer, whatever, he started doing some really shady stuff when it
did he?
came to putting the right sprues in the boxes as they were going out of business.
Oh,
So if you ever buy a kit, be very careful. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into.
You know what?
But,
Another solid system was the Mutant Chronicle stuff.
Oh, dude, you were talking my language.
That's
That's one of the few IPs I will actually play to the hills. I will play that game. Rules as written all freaking day long.
I had a Baja's army, and I had
Me too.
what was the other one?
Capital, Mishima, Imperial, Cybertronic, Dark Legion, Brotherhood.
Cybertronic.
That's it.
Cybertronic and the Venetian guys, the Bajas.
Venusian? Yeah.
It's really too bad that there are systems like this in games that you can't even.
Dude,
It's
those
almost like you're
minis,
talking about like almost a dead
Actually-
language.
Bo, get
Actually-
those minis. Look at those minis because they are fantastic for any general sci-fi. They are beautiful.
They're
minis.
hardly available.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they
They
are,
are.
and they're cheap as shit. Okay,
Yeah, they
also, right? They just made a new version of Warzone, which is Mutant Chronicles, the miniature game.
Yeah, the mini
Um,
game.
I
The
came back
second
to
edition
Kickstarter.
sucked, dude.
Pardon?
Did you play the second edition? It sucked.
Oh yeah. I
you
played
like it?
every edition. I played every edition. Yeah. I played first edition more, but the big box set that had the 3 books and a bunch of the
that was
German
good.
house fight. Yeah.
But I'm
You're
talking the
talking
one after that. It wouldn't be the second. It wouldn't be the box set one. It's the one after that. It's the one where it became almost like the third edition. Yeah, that one sucked.
It was like Warzone Eternal. That was way. It just had too much bloat within it. I mean, every little ability. It was rough. It was.
But the
But
first and
it
second
was the
one
most
fantastic.
comprehensive. I love the box set that you're talking about, second edition, because it came with a separate book called the Chronicles of War.
Yeah.
If you
And it
want
was
to
just
jump in,
the
the link is in the description of the video. There's room for one more.
Sorry, I'm hogging up your show, man.
We don't look at no. This is just chill and stream and paint and talk about hobby stuff. You know, I don't want to be Joe the streamer. I'd rather make my little short form videos than do a lot of streams. But the thing about when I'm on a stream or I'm in a stream, it helps me actually focus on painting.
Hell yeah.
It's funny how that works, huh?
I said I'm not going to get a lot of stuff done for this September challenge,
What
but
the
All
hell?
right.
What?
Uh-oh.
What? I'm looking at this the instructions for this thing, this mech.
At least it has
There's this-
instructions.
Yeah, I know. Normally they don't actually have instructions, but you see that bottom piece right here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's got
Well,
like
here's
a,
the actual-
a foot.
here's the actual piece, and it just doesn't actually match up. There's these
We
protrusions
I can't
coming out
see
of
it.
the round.
You need to poke it that direction.
that's what
There
she
you
said.
go. Oh yeah, that doesn't look like that thing at all.
Weird.
I'm like, what the hell? Well, it's missing like little things, but maybe
To the
something.
miscast?
I don't know, man. It's weird. It's
I
really,
think-
really, really weird.
Speaking Brian's language.
That's right, baby. Keep it weird.
You know, you talk
Okay,
about
now-
games that are where you can get all the minis and they're really cheap. I have seen over my lifetime, and you should have seen it too, Shadow, that a game will come out, and it doesn't matter what kind of game it is, it'll get popular, and then there will be 10,000 copycats,
Yeah.
right? You look at Magic
Yep.
the Gathering. When Magic the Gathering came out, how many other collectible card games came out and died? I
Shit,
can think
remember,
of
like,
at least I
they
can
had, like,
think of
a
at least
Desert
3
Storm
Trek
card
games.
set that was like magic. I remember that.
Hey, you know what? You know what's funny though? The game called Doom Trooper, which was based on the Mutant Chronicles Warzone.
Yeah.
That card game is still to this day one of the most popular games throughout all of Europe. That game is
Really?
freaking still massively huge. It's probably in the top 3 of the most expensive out-of-print card games out there. And,
I remember
and desirable.
Simon Beasley was doing a lot of that artwork for
Yeah.
the Mutant Chronicle stuff.
Your wife's
And Paul Bonner and a few others.
Hey Cal, is your wife like a Seventh-day Adventist or Quaker or something, going to church on Saturday? I'm not judging. I'm just curious. I mean, we had a service project this morning for my church. We went and we actually cleaned out an abandoned homeless camp, which was really kind of disgusting, but you know, some city beautification. So you know, I mean, if you're doing church on Saturday, that's awesome. I'm always kind of curious about stuff like that. Sorry,
Well, good for you guys. That's awesome.
didn't mean to derail the conversation. Just
No.
Sure,
Cal's
it's your
wife
channel.
doing a church on Saturday.
Where are you guys seeing this? You need to put oh wait, I guess I push a button and the comments will come up, right?
I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know
here
how
we
this works. I just had to open the YouTube channel in a different window so I could see the chat.
So Mrs. Mutt is in the mix, huh? What's up, Mrs. Mutt?
No. She was Cal. It's
I
Cal.
want to buy a beer to the
It's
woman
Cal.
who married Minnie Warmutt. She deserves a beer, steak dinner. Put up with
No,
that shit.
you're funny you mention that, but whenever I talk about my wife at work, people say the same thing. It's like, what kind of Mother Teresa married you?
Yeah, dude.
I know what kind of Mother Teresa married you.
Why does my family resemble that remark?
Because there's the funny thing about graveyard nursing, and it's like the later it gets, the more inappropriate it gets. Talking about
I
any
actually
graveyard
find that
job.
hard to believe. Were it not for that comment you made the other day about what you would have done differently in your life, I'm like, my image of Bo was instantly shattered.
No regrets, right? No regrets.
Nope.
And in my defense regarding that comment, Shadow, I think I was going on about 3 hours of sleep in like the last 36. It kind of breaks down inhibitions.
I missed it. What'd you say?
We were talking.
I'll tell you off camera if Bo don't mind. If he does, I'll still tell you.
No, that's all good. Yeah, don't.
No regrets.
Yeah.
Mrs.
I had to
Martin,
explain
we don't wanna
to somebody
scare
the
off.
other day. I had to explain the basics of time travel in the most simplistic form. Anything I would have done in life to change even one microsecond, micro event could have resulted in Jackie not being here. Therefore, I would not change a single thing, no matter how horrific, no matter how ugly it was. All the crap that I've gone through, I would not change one little thing because Jackie would not be here.
There's one thing in my life.
So wholesome.
One thing in my life.
Have you guys met my boy? I mean, you think about it, man. That kid is. I wouldn't even be here talking to you guys if it weren't for him. You know, it was his idea to make the channel. 3+ years ago, I would have just been doing my thing, just minding my own business. Doing my hobby. And yeah. And all the fun we've had together.
You have to go back in time with the same knowledge you have now so you can make sure that all of the significant events were the same.
The problem for me is the event, the one event that I would change predates everything else. And by changing that one thing, my life trajectory would have been different. But
right.
I might have been married in that life trajectory.
What the heck? This is like not even the same kid, man. I swear to God.
Maybe it's for a different. Maybe it's got multiple. Maybe
I'm not even kidding, guys. Oh my God, this is retarded. No, man, no.
Are you gonna have to kit bash it?
Brian, I gotta ask you a question. All right, Brian.
Yeah.
If you were the boss, right? If you were the boss at your work, right? You're the boss, and you've got an employee that was both a dwarf and had Down syndrome, and she showed up to work late. Would you say she was a little tardy?
Oh man!
I would if I were a night shift nurse.
Oh my God! I understand now why this company is no more.
Because the parts don't match and there are pieces missing. And
is it an instruction booklet that has multiple different kit instructions in it? Maybe
no, man, no. No.
Yeah, that base piece was totally. It didn't look like he would even sit flat on a table. And it's supposed to be the bottom of the thing. Part. That's crazy.
Okay, let me show you this. If I can do this. This is just. It's a good thing I've been doing this for as long as I have because I can make it work. Okay. Okay, here's the cockpit.
That pit.
It looks like there's a lot missing out of that cockpit.
The link to the chat is in the description to the video.
Do you see what I see, guys?
Yeah.
You see that crevice?
Crevasse.
The crevasse.
That's a
it doesn't
cave.
look like that at all.
No.
Okay, now let me take this piece off.
Yeah, okay. Cal, a lot of the War Games Atlantic stuff sells out intermittently. If you don't mind paying full retail for it, Cal, a lot of their stuff's available on their website at War Games Atlantic. I've been looking at the Troll or Ogre Landsconnects for a while, but I didn't want to. I've just been waiting for them to get in stock again at I think Miniature Market because the shipping's cheaper. The one kit I am looking at on the pre-order is the SAS Troopers, because I think they make awesome sci-fi minis with a little bit of kit bashing. And the real reason why I'm so partial to plastics is because they're easily kit bashable with just plastic cement and a razor blade.
A good fine saw doesn't hurt.
I haven't made the full jump to like 3D printing. Although a lot of the new 3D printing stuff you can print in pieces, especially with the higher resolution. You can also typically, with even the low resolution printers, set your build, your layer height way down. You just have to wait. It just takes longer to print. You know, if you don't mind spending all night to print instead of a couple hours, you can usually set the layer height really thin. I love plastic for the kit bashing too. Yeah, I mean, like whenever I buy a kit, I mean, even like something like a Stargrave kit, or even a lot of the Games Workshop kits, they come with way more bits than you need, and so I just put the bits in like medicine cups, like, and then I just pull out bits when I want to personalize something.
I do the same freaking thing with those cups.
If anybody
As a matter
knows,
of fact,
where to get, I'm looking for bits for inquisitorial bits, books,
oh,
purity seals. Oh yeah,
right here on the table.
I get mine by the sleeve, boss.
I thought you were talking about Pringles.
Somebody want medicine cups?
Nice.
Where do we
Nice.
get that at? Huh?
What's that?
You taking office supplies home from work?
No, I wouldn't do that.
That's it. Yeah. God, these guys are retarded.
No, but
Wait, those guys. You've been talking to my wife again, Shadow.
Huh.
Saying these guys.
Hold on.
shoot a link to that all that Warlord or that Warzone stuff to Bo, because I guarantee, Bo, you're gonna love Bajas and Cybertronic. That stuff's some awesome shit.
Mutant Chronicles, Warzone. What I like most about it, believe it or not, is the actual lore. It's
good.
basically, it's actually believable sci-fi in the future where you know the corporations take over. America becomes one big corporation called Capital. Europe becomes Bauhaus. Japan and parts of China becomes Mishima, and at some point the British corporation goes out to not Pluto but the planet after Pluto called Nero, this recently discovered planet, and they find this big giant ancient like doorway, you know, man-made looking doorway.
Yeah. And
they
some
break
idiot
the
out there pushes the giant red button and ruins everything.
They break
What
the
does
seal
this
to get
button
into
do?
and they break the seal, and out come their version of the Chaos Lords, the four apostles of war and darkness, and you know they've got a Nurgle-looking dude. They've got Algaroth, the Lord of War, Samai, the Lord of something, and Muiji, the Lord of something else, and then they're
Mario.
and the fifth one that can't be named above them all, and then instantly, just like literally, it's like breaking the seal to hell, and it just invades our galaxy or our solar system, and from that point on, it just gets freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I saw the movie, but I don't.
The Ghost are hilarious.
The movie was garbage. And I loved it. It was
Did you watch
absolute travesty.
Ghosts of Mars? That was supposed to be Mutant Chronicles, but then they lost the IP or something, so he just made it.
Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah, that was actually going to be Mutant Chronicles. That was going to be written as a Mutant Chronicle movie, but they couldn't secure the IP or something, so Carpenter just like made it a horror flick instead.
Because that's what you do.
Well, the new version of the rules, I backed the Kickstarter just for the rules because I was not going to pay, you know, literally like
I don't
12.
think the minis look very good. The new ones.
Yeah, they were like 12. They were like $12 a mini for resin, 3D printed minis. I'm like, no
Yeah.
thanks. I don't care how many heads and arms you give me. If it's just one torso, that really doesn't help me out.
Yeah.
But I'll check out the book because I have
What the hell?
I have literally
Oh.
like close to 200 sealed blisters and box sets for that game, and I backed the Kickstarter for the Siege of the Citadel because that game was freaking awesome. And Jackie and I played a bunch of it, and it's a nice board gamey dungeon crawl. You know, what was it, Space Crusade? It's like that, but a different IP. And we had a blast. And the minis, oh my God, there's so many minis for that. It was like backing Cthulhu Wars,
Oh yeah.
Tons of it.
which
I
I
want a box of Bajas. Remember that 10-man box of Bajas infantry?
Uh-huh.
I want that
Yep.
box, and then a box of the Cybertronic kind of like, what are they, the Hussars or whatever?
Castors.
Yeah, they're infantry. Dude, those are badass minis, dude. Those are great.
Yeah, and it's got this very World War I aesthetic to the whole game that's kind of interesting.
Trenchers and stuff. Yeah.
The gas mask, the doughboys, the Kaiser helmets,
It's
the
funny
whole bit.
It should be,
capital.
the link should be in the description of the video. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I posted it in the description. That's I think most of the guys got in through that link.
But like the capital,
no,
remember
I got
their
in
helmets
through,
are like their capital.
I
The
came
capital
through-
helmets are like football
I
helmets.
don't think I could put it. I don't think I could.
I went through Discord, but
Yeah, it was in there. The link was. That's how I got on there.
Hey, Hunger, I'll see if I can send it to your Discord. I'm afraid if I exit out of this, I'm afraid if I go to a different screen, though, I'll lose the stream.
Yeah, I
And you
see
will-
the link right here in the description. I mean, that's pretty much all there is in the description.
But he says I am backstage. I should be able to. Oh, there you are.
I was looking at the chat.
Hey, it's the Hungar.
I just woke
oh
up.
my God,
What? Oh, RPG Grandma's back.
what's up, Hungar? Yeah, she said she'd be back.
Yeah, she's back. Hi, RGP Grandma.
Hi, Hunger.
See, this is my people. This is my tribe.
Hey, everybody. I'm sick. I'm sorry. I'm doing crappy today.
What's wrong, buddy?
That's
I've
sad
got
to
a
hear.
stupid, gastroparesis thing going on.
Oh, that sucks ass, dude.
It happens.
No, I know.
I was up all night last night, vomiting and crap.
Yeah.
Was it
What they
something you
say,
ate or just
Hungar?
the situation?
You know what they
it's
say, brother.
That he eats, man.
It's just my gut's not working.
That's
You know what they
bad.
say. Getting old ain't for pussies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for
It's
sure.
true, man.
Put my brain out and put it in a jar.
I did make some more T-shirts, and they're highly inappropriate.
As they should be.
Some of them are bad. Some of them one of them I'm thinking about just taking off. 'Cause
Oh yeah, I'm shilling for Arduin today.
I've got that shirt.
Yeah,
Not a sponsored video.
I've got that shirt, and I got another one, and I gave it to my stepson.
Good.
you should have given it to your brother, man.
Yeah, because I could
You
just
married? I didn't know you were
hand it
married, Hungar.
to James in Florida from Tennessee.
You just give it to him in person next time you see him, man.
Well, that's not going to be until wintertime.
Oh,
And
really?
my stepson thinks my stepson said, that's a badass shirt. And I was like, here, I've got another one.
All right, that works. I'll see what I can do to get James some swag. I think he would dig it. He might not play it, because
He deleted my last comment about Shauner from his video.
Really? That doesn't seem like him.
Well, all I did was ask him to address the whole Abe situation.
He did a
I asked
video,
nicely.
he did a video on that.
Must have been more. I must not have seen that. Must be more recent.
Yeah, I didn't see shit, and I watched a little bit of what was going on, and I don't understand certain aspects of the entire thing, and I just don't want to get involved in that. I'm done with that kind of shit.
Yeah, stay out of it, hon.
Yeah.
I'm involved, sort of, kind of, because I'm one of the people in the live stream.
Abe
Yeah,
did invite me to play a game with him, and I said I would because I'll play.
I'm gonna be friends with everybody, and if somebody has a problem with that, then they know where they can, stick it.
Right.
But I mean, it doesn't make. There's certain things that don't make sense. I literally have this feeling like it's like a troll. Like they're actually nobody's actually serious.
Right.
Howdy,
We can
Wargaming
put that
China.
video together.
Hey,
Oh.
Adam, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I mean that could be going on. I don't know.
Wargaming China is in the chat.
I'm just using the opportunity to okay, so a question's been posed. Well, if one person doesn't understand, other people don't understand, so I'll just make videos about all these questions that were brought up.
Sure.
And then maybe people will understand what's going on when people play virtual live stream games better.
I put the link to my t-shirts in the chat. Please
Okay.
remember, they're all in fun.
Fun is good.
Tongue
Yeah, all I
in
want
cheek is
people
the
to do
best
is play
kind.
games.
I mean, some of the jokes are a little edgy.
A little.
Well, okay.
I don't think we have many prudes on the stream right
I
here.
got a shirt that's got a guy praying on the beach, and it says, if I had $1 for every time I told a racist joke, I'd probably get robbed by a black guy.
Yeah, that'll get you trouble. Demonetized.
Here's a quick racial joke, everybody. Listen. How do
Oh, my
all
goodness.
racial
Oh, you don't
jokes
make money
start?
off this, dude.
I donate all the
I
money.
didn't
I
hear the
donate all the
hold on.
money to Wounded Warrior.
I didn't even hear the punchline to Hungar's joke.
I said it says, if I had $1 for every time I told a racist joke, I'd probably get robbed by a black guy. That's not, and it's got a guy praying on the beach.
Yeah, you're getting it now, daughter.
And I got inspiration,
Hunger, bad.
inspirational joke or inspirational quote of the day. Don't be a dick. And I got one that says, it's a picture of the beach with a piece written in the sand that says, take off and nuke them from orbit. I mean, just silly stuff.
Well,
No.
sure.
That I understand. If hugs don't work,
my God.
looking forward.
I got one of a cat that's looking into the screen with really big eyes, looking at you with really big eyes. And it says, what are you doing in my litter box? I got, the movie Dune, where the navigator comes in and they got the guys like sweeping and mopping and stuff.
Yeah.
I've got that, but it's Pepe the Frog as the navigator.
Uh-huh.
Because Pepe the Frog.
Because Pepe the Frog.
But yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't get that one. I don't get the Pepe the Frog guy.
You don't. The thing is, you don't have to get it, and you don't have to have any text because someone's going to be offended by that shirt for no reason, other than they want to be offended by that shirt.
I've got one with a thumbs up, and it's got it was a rainbow flag that I turned black, white, and gray, and it says straight pride.
Eesh.
And I got one with a circle.
They get offended by all kinds of stuff.
I got one with a circle with a line through it with Ukraine, and it says F Ukraine.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah. People freak out there.
But it's funny because they're all like
Chris.
The F Ukraine shirt is under the tag peace. So when everybody looks up peace and stuff, they find it. And I got ones that don't be sexist. That's wrong. And being wrong is for women.
Wow, freaking Hungar, man.
And it's got a nice, like, beautiful, peaceful background to it because I'm trying to do an inspirational
Oh
quote.
my. Oh.
Inspirational
Yeah.
quotes. That's my new thing for my shirts.
Oh.
God,
Talk about
Like, oh,
I have a,
man, this kid is freaking. Whoever wrote the instructions for this barely passed the 8th grade, if that.
I'm working on a new T-shirt that says "Don't kill yourself. That's low key bad for you."
what?
No cap.
No cap.
I don't get it.
that's funny.
No cap.
I don't get it.
It's new
That's
slang.
not real.
There's 3.8 billion women on the planet. I thought this place would be cleaner. Well, I'm stealing that. That is going on a frickin' T-shirt.
Yeah, these are the things that I kind of tell to my wife when I think I want to be funny, and that's when she says, looks at me and says, "You're not as funny as you think you are,"
I think you're hilarious, Bo.
and that just shuts down the whole argument right there. You know, when there's nothing like having your wife say, "You know what? That's not cute. That's not funny." Oh, man, really? I stayed up all night thinking of this joke.
I'll tell you what, when my
But-
sugar mama comes home, my house does get a lot cleaner while she's on home time relaxing from work.
That's right. No joking aside, no joke. My wife's got long COVID, and I don't know if you ever seen. Oh, it's her. It kicks her ass.
That
It-
sucks.
It really does. I mean, she is just it's like chronic fatigue. And
Yep,
so
I
we
know
really,
all about that.
Kidney
we
disease
really
does
have
that.
to pick up the slack, you know, for the cooking and the cleaning and everything, all that stuff.
Kidney
But
disease
When did
makes
she
it very.
catch the COVID? When did she catch
What's
the COVID? How far back?
How far back? Oh, it was like 2 years. Well, it was over a year ago.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. It will, but I don't. I caught the COVID in. When did I catch the COVID? 20 was it 2020? 20,
Yeah.
2021? 2020. 2019. 2019, I had into 2020, I had a completely different deadly virus, and then it must have been 20 was August. So it
I'll
must
be
have
right
been
back.
2020 of
Coffee.
August. So
Well, that-
yeah, it took me a long time to get where I'm at now.
When I had COVID,
Very cold.
the worst thing that happened was it was the malaise. The malaise was a big deal, but also was the loss of taste.
Well, that
And
happened to
that
me.
lasted
also.
about 10 days.
Wow.
And it's really bad because I kept adding spicy things to my food to try to taste it, and I could feel the burn from the peppers, but I couldn't taste them.
You can't taste it. No, and I had that for months. See, when you have the long COVID, anything that you get from the COVID doesn't go away.
Absolutely.
Just lasts forever. And it just seems like it's never going to end. And it dawned on me, like they said, that people had, quote, recovered from COVID, but then they were like, taking themselves out. And it dawned on me, they probably all had long COVID and they were probably considerably younger because they weren't used to dealing with like long-term things.
Right.
And so they think that it's never going to end. My life is going to suck forever.
Right.
And they don't have patience because they're younger people. And
Well, I
they're
will
different
tell you,
generations.
as a person who works in healthcare, I made with in the 2020, and we were sitting around talking at the nurses station, and I said, if COVID was a whip or a wave, and there was like the financial difficulties and the isolation and the economic downturn, the crack of the whip or the crest of the wave was the mental health crisis that was going to come from it. And that's where we're at right now.
You know what? I like the lockdowns because I'd rather be at home and not have to deal with anybody.
Yeah. I like the lockdowns because I got tons of overtime.
And extra pay.
Yeah, I cannot tolerate the lockdowns. My son went from during lockdown, he was barely passing any class whatsoever with online learning. His first year of high school, back to school, as it were, straight A's, honor roll, all the other stuff you heard me go on. No,
my son,
and that's who gets hit the hardest.
My son, who's autistic, he's high spectrum nonverbal. He was in a good school, a good class, everything was going great. Then the lockdowns happened, and now we can't get him back into school because there's not enough teachers and stuff for him.
Cal has bad taste, which isn't the same. If you have bad taste, you're actually in except for RPG Grandma, you're in good company because
Didn't you just hear about my T-shirts?
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't lose my brain over every off, not
old people
whatever joke or. Yeah, I've lived long
I
enough.
love all you guys, and I hate fascism. I'm pro-Ukraine. I can take it. It's all good.
Because you know what, we can have different opinions.
Exactly.
And still
I will tell you, I like last night I was watching some TV. I was watching a movie, and I told my wife she was in the other room that doesn't have a TV, and I kind of called out to her. I said, "I figured it out. I'm not a bigot. I'm a misanthrope." They're not the same thing.
No, they're not.
I'm not racist enough. No, that's a joke. But
That would be a good T-shirt. That would be a good T-shirt.
yeah, but
And you need to put a little asterisk under that.
Yeah.
That's why we
It's a-
need. That's why I need to practice my microaggressions.
no, I get along with anybody who gets along with me, and I do have 2 mixed children. So it's like, and sometimes I piss my half black daughter off with some of my stuff I say. She'd be like, "Dad, you can't say that." And I was like, "Freedom of speech, baby."
I just did, right? I just did say.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay, guys, I gotta pop out. I gotta go make lunch for people.
okay,
Okay.
RPG Grandma, it's always
Bye.
good.
I'll do the salad.
Have fun
I'll
storming the
just,
castle.
Think she'll make it?
She's in California. It'll get to me eventually.
No, somebody said have fun storming the castle. I was like, think she'll make it?
It'll take a miracle.
It'll take a miracle. Yes.
Okay, whoever put these instructions together, man, I found out what was missing there, Kevin. There's these little pegs that go in there. If they would have actually like just taken the time to do proper instructions, they would have alerted the builder to the fact that when you build it, it can actually move. If you build it right, things can swivel and change.
Inside and
just to get a different pose.
I've had a hard
Right.
time with some of the more complex Bandai kits, some of the Gundam kits, especially the Master Grade, I think. There's no English. The instructions are in Japanese, and they're all in pictograms, which is usually okay. But sometimes,
so you need to not glue something because it's optional.
well, yeah,
Those master kits are
never
insane.
supposed to glue, but I glue them anyway. But that has actually gotten me into trouble where I've glued things that weren't supposed to be glued.
I've got to get some freaking something to put this dragon together. I tried super glue and it laughed at me.
Yeah, I tell you need a 2-part epoxy, and you might need to learn the fine art of pinning.
Yeah. Pinning
This
makes
would
a
be
big
like the
deal.
third
Makes a big
model.
difference.
This would be like the third model I've ever put together.
Damn.
Well,
When-
you know, if
back
you'd like
when-
to send it to me, I'd be happy to put it together for you.
back
I'm
in
well,
fourth edition, no, I'm going to do it.
I'm gonna make myself big for a minute.
I'm going to do it.
Ugh.
Nice.
Oh, is that the Imperious leader?
Yeah, like a ship's captain,
Nice.
and is not. He won't focus. Focus, you son of a. No, focus on the mini. Still won't focus. It won't focus.
No.
I'll probably picks up on Discord later.
Back in the day when Warhammer Fantasy, when the Hyos came out with that stupid lion chariot, I bought 2 of those and I put those together. And that was a pain in the ass, but it was plastic. So I just used freaking, the glue.
Bottle glue?
Yeah, bottle glue. But I've
So-
never put a metal miniature together. But I'm thinking about trying to get into the hobby of building and painting because, Cal, you have a good day, buddy.
Take care,
Oh.
Cal.
Waiting on truck servicing. Oh, wait a minute. Is that we've got room for 2 more, Cal? You're dropping out Squirrel. I don't. If you want to jump in, that's all good.
Yeah, we haven't had Squirrel in. Get him in. Get in here, man.
Well, I haven't seen him in the. No, he's not in the lobby.
I want to send him
follow me.
one of those extra copies of the Arduin book I sent everybody. I think he'd dig it. It might be a little too gonzo for him, but you know what?
He likes Harn, right?
I was gonna say, isn't Harm
Yeah.
pretty gonzo?
No,
I thought it was
Harn
like
is,
kind of the
is pretty. Harn is pretty.
Based.
Well, it's more like Lion and Dragon. The magic is much less common.
Yeah, it's very low magic.
I like low magic.
Yeah,
But and
don't
it's
even get me
also-
started.
It's
You
also
guys are pissing me
extremely.
off, man.
Harn is
Dude, if you
extremely
wanna play-
realistic.
If you want to play high magic, I have nothing against somebody playing high magic games. It's what you like.
No, it wasn't that. It was
And
the fact that
we can get along and be friends without a grin with each other on everything.
no,
man.
it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was you. You guys were talking magic, and you had like 3 or 4 people with the same exact opinion, and I could not join to show you guys how you guys are wrong.
Wait,
So-
where's your name, man? Don't put my name in your mouth.
It was on Legion of Myth last night. I like when I said I was going to bounce. I'd been on an hour, and Max was like, "Oh, you can't leave. You're going to leave me." And insert names like an hour with Hungar is magical. I don't know why I'm liked so much.
I was going to say, when it comes to magic in my role playing games, I still think the best example that I can think of the kind of magic I'd like to do is the movie Conan the Barbarian. Even if it's not necessarily evil, magic should be very rare and very expensive. It should come at a cost.
Yes.
You cast a spell, the demon or god or whatever that grants that spell, he wants a boon, and he might come for your soul.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
what we
agree
have
with
in
you.
our Weird World War II. It's pretty low magic, and it's kind of Cthulhu-ish, where there's a price, and the price might just be you can't, you're human, you're not supposed to be screwing with this shit anyway. It drives you crazy, but there are other prices to it.
I like my
Yeah,
magic.
but see,
to be- I like
my problem
mages.
is that's like everybody does that, and to me it seems like
Who does that? Everybody is the opposite of that. You play like D&D, and you just like buy magic at the 7-Eleven.
I like my magic.
those guys don't count. Those
It's-
fifth
I
guys,
like
those
my
5th
magic.
and 3rd edition guys don't count. No,
Mages are
that-
rare, and there's a consequence when you cast the spell. If you mess up, bad shit can happen to you.
But how do I put this?
Oh,
From my
shit.
experience with
Squirrel,
certain
hop into
things,
the-
I
hop into
found
the-
that's not actually the case. It adds up, but it's not immediate.
Oh, well, too. But there are a lot of good examples. Like the 1982 Excalibur, where they all wore like aluminum can armor.
Oh, I love that movie.
But that's
I
like
fucking hate that
again,
movie,
in
man.
that movie, magic was
Huh?
real but very rare.
You
How could
hate
you hate that movie?
Excalibur? Oh my god!
I fucking hate that movie. I'll tell you why.
Dude, Helen Mirren in that movie, she was hot, dude.
Here's what I hate about that movie.
You're gay, right?
Okay. What? No, it's this simple. I cannot imagine a world where I was king and I find my wife and my best friend under a tree, right? Without me taking off his head, dragging her by the hair, taking her to the castle, and hanging her from the highest balcony
My
so that
God,
everybody
dude.
knows what would happen.
You do know that is from an actual fairy tale legend, right?
Yeah, I do know that. I just don't understand how any human could not, being king, could not see his best friend and kill him while he had the opportunity, and then drag that.
He loves them, dude. He loves both of them.
Both of them.
That changes
right.
instantly. That can change that quick for me, and it would be like, okay, bitch, you
Yeah.
are going to die, but you're going to
That
die
changes.
so that
If I
everybody
saw my
will see.
best friend banging out my wife, I'd be like, I'm better without both of them.
Right, and the world would also be better without both of them. To
Oh,
which
no,
I
dude.
would
If
make
I
that
walk
happen.
What are you talking about? You're in
Depends on the
California.
situation.
You
It's
have
like if
to
they're
for
drunk
shit.
and they just kind of did it. I don't give a shit. I love them both. Who gives a fuck?
Hey,
Because I would instantly hate them both.
You
I,
can
I have no place
come
And-
on.
for that kind of forgiveness. I don't
That's
understand
what
it. I will never
separates.
have.
That's what
Yeah.
separates you from King Arthur. He's better than that.
Yes.
I
He's
understand
better
that.
than us, yeah.
He's a proper Christian. He believes in forgiving.
Oh, damn. Throwing down the
And I understand that. I understand that my God would forgive my impulsive anger.
I wasn't talking about low magic examples.
And that movie's awesome.
That is an awesome movie.
I get it. I get it. I'm just a vindictive bastard when it comes to that kind of thing. Other stuff, yeah, no problem. But
I'm
that,
not a vindictive
I mean,
bastard.
betrayal
when it
is
comes
rough,
to that
man.
kind
I
of
mean,
shit.
that's heavy. Betrayal is like the worst, man. Treachery and betrayal, especially the people that you love. But you know what,
Yeah.
man?
yeah,
Just let it wash over you, and it's back. It's past you. That's in my life. Like all of us, we've been up and down. You just got to learn to just move on.
I usually leave that to her, bro.
move on.
nice. Yeah,
Oh,
I just can't do it. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm okay with that.
You're pretty awesome, though, dude. I give you that. You're pretty awesome.
Thanks, man. Right back at you guys.
I dig you.
And this little guy is starting to kind of look kind of badass.
Squirrel Herbert, jump into the show, dude.
That's what I
No
said.
shit.
Oh, there.
I don't see- how long has it been, dude?
Hold on, man.
How long has it been, Squirrel?
Hold
I don't
on.
even think I've ever seen Squirrel. Oh shit.
No. Okay. I know he's not on camera because he's looking for his Fez.
Yeah, he's looking for his, but he's, wait, where'd he go? Okay, that's not on me. I didn't do it.
He went to go get his Fez.
Oh,
Well, I just finished 2 flamethrowers, 2 snipers, and a Type 1 40 millimeter and a tank gun.
I got a new hat last weekend. It rocks.
Did you get a Fez?
No, I got this.
What does it say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
It's
Well,
just,
that's not indicative to the hunger I know.
it's
It needs to
just a
say
hat.
something.
These are the kinds of hats that I wear. I've been wearing these since I was 25.
So last year, you're saying?
So 25 years.
I was gonna say, so last year, you're saying?
Shit. There you go.
I don't know if I have any hats.
Well, you've got a full head of hair, so eat a dick.
Oh, there he is. Look at that guy.
Squirrel.
Nice to meet you, Squirrel, in the flesh, man.
Hey, buddy. Everybody hear me
Yeah,
okay?
So good to see you, man.
Yeah.
I got a book for you, man. Just send me your mailing address, and if I already asked you and you already gave it to me, I'm old.
He sent you a message in chat. Said that he sent
In
it to your
Discord.
Yeah, it's a direct message in Discord. So look it up, brother.
What are you, Joshua from War Games? Shall we play a game?
Global Thermal Nuclear War.
Mr. Roboto.
That movie
Yeah.
scared the hell out of me as a kid, bro. War Games?
War Games.
Holy shit! Yeah, that was.
War Games was tense when I was, because that came out when I was, that was right before I went in the army, back in the Cold War.
The real height of the Cold War, man. That
Yeah.
early '80s, when they had that miniseries on ABC.
Day
That
After?
was like, yeah, and that was back in the day when you only had like 4 channels, right? And I think everybody that I knew watched that, and like 30 million people watched that the day. And that thing had I was like 8 years old. My butthole was about that puckered.
My
Man.
parents forbid me to watch it, right? And
Oh
guess
yeah,
what?
that just means you're gonna
Ryan
watch
runs
it.
into the living room crying, like, an hour into it. I'm like, told you not to watch it, you damn
Yeah,
kid.
no, that movie scared the heck out of me, man.
Don't
But
get over
War
it.
Games, yeah, because the thought that you could hack into the world with an ANSI 8080 computer that literally had toggle switches on the front of it to control its mathematical functions. That was pretty.
Shit, I didn't know any tech. I didn't know of any of that shit. So it seemed totally, plausible to me.
The Whopper computer.
I'm gonna try to eat something, so I'm gonna jump off of here.
Hey, Hungar, you should go try to eat something.
Yes. Maybe tacos.
Tacos.
I'm gonna make tacos tonight. No, because I made
Taco
Salisbury steak last night. I found this video online yesterday. This like old black lady, not super old, but she was making this like, "Ooh, child, we're gonna make these Salisbury steaks." She called them hamburger steaks. These hamburger steaks with gravy and mashed potatoes, and they're gonna be so good. And I thought, yes, I'm making that. I watched that video like 8 times and cooked it. Of course, I've got 3 boys, but 2 of them won't eat anything.
Except macaroni
I
and
make-
nuggets, right?
I make hamburger steak, but I put it over rice, and then I put like the Japanese omelet on top of it with gravy.
That's like more Korean style.
That's Japanese.
Well, no, but I mean with the omelet on top. A lot of the Korean stir fry, I'll put like a fried egg on top.
Yeah, I make that runny omelet that the Japanese are crazy about.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's. I thought you were talking about like a fried egg. That's a different animal.
No, I put fried egg on my cheeseburgers though. Bacon, egg,
probably
and
good.
cheeseburger.
With a little runny yolk.
I'm sure that every time you go to the hospital, they bitch at you about your diet, right?
I tell them, what the fuck, I'm done. Who cares?
Fair enough. I just want to keep you around as long as possible.
I'm sorry to hear
Yeah,
that,
when
Hungar. I really am, brother.
It is what it is. I should have died 3 years ago.
Well, I'm glad I got a chance to meet you and conversate with you, dude.
I'm not upset about it. We all die, not all of us live. And damn it, I live.
The reason that he's still here, this is the reason that Hungar is still here with us. There's this debate going on. God doesn't really want him, but the devil's afraid he'll take over.
I'm just waiting up. I'm just waiting for winter time. My beard's getting nice. I got my Santa Claus suit ready to go.
That's cool.
But we love you. We want to keep you here with us.
Yeah, I get on that
Hell.
Omegle and I play Mariah
Hell yeah.
Carey, All I Want for Christmas, and I just sit in my chair and dance. And every time somebody comes on, they just laugh their ass off.
Has anyone ever asked you for what they told you what they want for Christmas?
Yes.
They're like random kid sees you on the street, thinks you're Santa Claus in disguise.
He's like,
Yeah.
here's a pack of
Well, because he
cigarettes,
is.
kid. He was.
He is, dude, I figured it out, guys. I figured it out. He is really Santa Claus, and it's almost time for somebody else to take over as as the next Santa Claus, you know, like in the movie. So he gets to retire, and somebody else gets to be Santa Claus. So this is like, you know, maybe his last couple of Santa Claus years, and then he gets to just kick it back at the North Pole, where it's actually nice and warm, and we don't know about it. You know,
When
kind
I
of
was
like
when I was up at my mom's house last week, I was out in town, out in Somerset, and this little kid walks by with her dad, and she's just staring at me. And her dad's like, she thinks she's Santa Claus. I was like, well, I could be, and you need to be good for your parents if you want anything for Christmas. She's like, I will, I promise.
That's awesome, dude.
Hey, Brian.
You know, because that's gonna last for years, dude.
The
That memory.
one spot is not at the North Pole; it's at the South Pole in Antarctica with the alien, with the Nazi alien.
Damn Nazis.
I'm out, guys.
Don't give it away, man. Don't give it away.
See you, Hungar, brother.
Now I want to play a Hollow Earth game.
Later.
Who wants to run a Hollow Earth game? I want to play a Hollow Earth game.
I mean,
Actually, Bo, I'm working on my, my Nazi dinosaur cults of Antarctica, and that may just be right up your alley if I can get the right help from Bri over there to make sure I don't screw up on the deck.
Anytime.
Well, I said I am down for playing almost any game if the group is right. The group has got to be right first, and the rules need to be right second. And I can work with almost everything else.
Yeah.
I'd rather play a bad game with a good group.
Yeah, that never happened. The group,
Mighty Monks of Calcutta.
And the Mighty Monks of Calcutta.
The group will always modify the bad game to make it fun. A good group.
Think about it like this, guys. Think about it like this. Think of the worst board game you could think of, right? Right? I know you don't have to mention any.
Key to the Kingdom.
Okay. No, I mean like before like fantasy and science fiction board games like Monopoly, Parcheesi, Trouble, Payday, those games like that, right? Now think about your best bros on a Saturday night, how much fun you could turn that shit into. You know what I mean? It don't matter. The rules, the game, that don't matter. It's always going to be the people. Always.
I still have a scar in the palm of my hand where I got stabbed for stealing from the bank during a Monopoly game.
That's freaking awesome.
How many people have been
painful?
How many people have been stabbed over a Monopoly game? I have.
Hey,
no,
if you're not willing to flip
stabbed at the dinner table for, never mind. Wasn't really a dinner table. It was, well, never mind.
Yeah, if you have a good group, you can make any game a blast.
Yep.
It's true. That is the truth.
I said I played a multiple session, like a 3-month campaign when I was in college the second time with a bunch of kids, and they're actually playing the Old World of Darkness Vampire, I think the second edition, and the rules are really trash, but the group were literally a bunch of gay theater majors.
That sounds like vampire. Yeah.
I didn't know you took theater. I didn't know you took theater.
But they were all like super in character, super flamboyant, and I made my character. I never told anybody. I didn't even think I told that darn cat. My character in the game was like an a psychic inquisitor from the Mormon Church who could shoot fire at him.
That's funny.
And calling all of the vampires to repentance. Or being pyrotechnic. He could literally fire out of his hands.
That's funny. Well, guys, I'm gonna bow out too. Looks like Mel needs some help, and I'm finished for today's quota.
Mel needs help. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Mel needs help.
Hey,
Hey, I was gonna mention that, Bo, real quick before Brian leaves. If you need trouble getting to sleep, you're a married man. You can always try for boy number 4.
Shit, I got fixed a long time ago, brother.
Again, the long COVID though.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to do anything. Just lay there starfishing, man.
You got that right, brother. Closer than you know.
If that don't make you tired, go eat a sandwich. And trust me, right after that, you'll be out for like a good 6-8 hours.
Yeah,
you can thank me later.
Joe Rogan used to talk about stuff like that. He'd say, if you're having trouble sleeping, you could take some edibles, and then there's always, Pamela Henderson.
Oh man, yeah, I know her well. All right, guys. Well, you guys take it easy, and whatever you do,
keep it weird.
I'll hit the show tonight if you do one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm supposed to not, but I don't know, man.
It's peer pressure.
Hanging out with you guys is addicting, man.
Peer pressure.
All right, guys.
There's always something to talk about.
As much painting done as I thought I would. I got one whole mini done. Ooh.
Yeah, hey, my Marauder, my M8 is almost done, so I'm gonna call that a win.
That's a metal mini, isn't it? Is that a metal kit?
No, it's plastic, but I figured it out. There's these little pegs that go in where there weren't pegs, and they've got these round things so they can move and stuff. And if they would have actually done the instruction book just a little bit better, it would have made so much more sense, and it would have let people know that they can actually really get some. Because I'm going to glue it to the base, but right. You can actually get some, some articulation and movement. I love that when you get a plastic miniature and it's got even just moving the arms and the waist, a little, just can be a lot of fun at the table, kind of action figuring it, when you're bringing it out, and it adds a bit of detail to the overall experience that's almost unparalleled. There's so many miniatures that are, completely static, but having the ability, even if you're going to glue it in place to get a different pose, right? It makes it so much more fun.
And that's kind of where I'm at with those. Like I've got some Gundam that I want to base and glue in a pose, but pick a pose first, so that if I use them in a game, I don't like the idea of minis on a table that can just. I don't want to spend the whole time picking them up when they fall over.
Right. Or fall apart because
like the gorilla dude from Emperor's Choice. I just know that he's gonna fall this way or that way. But if I could find a big enough base, and he's bigger than all the bases I have. I've got the biggest base I have is like a 60 millimeter.
You know what I used to do, and I still do? Again, I'm going to bring up an old standby. Take some paper clay or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And a Pringles lid.
He would about fit in a Pringles lid if I had. I think I might have one upstairs.
And just put it in there, and it lets you, when you put the clay in there, it's got a nice beveled edge and whatnot, and you got to, turn it upside down and fill the lid with the clay. And funny thing is, after it dries, you can actually take the Pringles lid off and just sand it real good, and you'll get a nice molded base. And another thing I did, I got this really cool base from Miniature. I forget what it was. I think the Lord of Riots or something, and it had a really nice. No, it was a Minotaur Lord from Reaper. It had this cool ass base. And so I made copies of it by taking blue stuff, making a mold of the base, and now I've got like 3 or 4 of those left over, so that I can use them again sometime.
Right. No, that's and I'm just leery right now of buying any. I don't want to buy any more hobby stuff right now until I start using up what I've got.
I hear you. That's why
I'm starting to spill out of this room. It's like an episode of Hoarders, for crying out loud.
You need more. You need more cabinets on the walls.
I can't put shelves on the walls until we put new sheetrock down here.
I know, and we need to finish that one, the front wall of the house too. Yeah. Eventually I'll get up there we got to fix the brakes on the brake lights on my truck, get the headlights running, and then I'll be able to drive up there.
Yeah, you can welcome to stay as long as you like.
I can borrow a trailer, a box trailer. Set up a bed in the box trailer.
I've got the whole extra room.
I can't be downstairs.
Well,
I can't.
But
I can't.
I do have a fold-out couch upstairs too.
Yeah, but if I do the trailer, it's got a man door. And so I could set up the trailer, and just sort of hang out. The other option is I fly up and then I drive that stupid van back down to Arizona.
Well, yeah, that's an option too.
The van you can't do anything with because you can't do anything with it. I mean, in Arizona I could do something with it, but up there you're kind of hosed.
I know. We could have some awesome game nights.
Yeah.
There is a new game store up here that hosts like an open night, but all they're doing right now is hosting Magic tournaments. Because that's all.
That's a shame.
That's all anybody ever shows up to do,
Oh, right. Yeah. Because if they did 40K, people would show up for that. If they did
it's an open nights, but people just want to play.
They want to play the 3 or 4 games that are the super most popular, and that's it.
Yeah.
They want to play they're easy because everybody sells the rules because that's the only game people are playing. So that's the only game people are stocking.
Now we've talked about that.
Yeah.
That's how games are now. And that's actually, I was talking about that with Brian a week ago. He was talking about opening a game store that would not sell peripherals, wouldn't sell rules.
Right.
Because obviously you can't make money doing it in almost any system because the internet undercuts you.
That's for sure.
Online stuff is just cheaper.
As a brick and mortar store, you have a 30%. You need to have a 30% markup to make money
to keep the lights on.
Because you gotta pay any employees, you gotta pay your rent, you gotta pay your utilities, you gotta there's all this stuff you have to do, and so any products you sell, you have to sell enough product with a 30% markup. Now when I was in Tennessee, and we were going to the hobby shop there on 41A south of Fort Campbell, that store did comics, board games, role-playing games, model trains, RC, and something else, model rockets. And of all the products, the products that made the game solvent or made the shop solvent were the comics and the role-playing games.
Really?
Yes, that's what. But probably 20% of the income of the store was like the RC stuff, because RC stuff at the time was like marked up by 50%.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And at that time, like across on the northbound side of 41A, about 2 miles north of there was an RC track, an outdoor, and they had an outdoor track and an indoor track where they raced RC cars on tracks.
Right.
And you would pay, like anything, you'd pay an entrance fee, and then half the take for the entrance fee was the prize for the winner. So they had, RC was really quite huge. So they sold this place sold like mid-grade equipment for RCs, the motors and servos and bearings and all that kind of stuff, all the peripheral stuff to make your entry-level car better. but not to make it, like professional level.
Right.
And so they made quite a bit of money on RC, but not nearly as much as they made on games. And that's because there were just more gamers, because it was the only game store. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It's the closest game store to Fort Campbell.
Right.
And so they got all the business from Fort Campbell.
Right.
It's funny, the only other hobby store was actually owned by the same people, and it was in Hopkinsville, Tennessee.
Yes, we're farther away, right?
Which is north of Fort Campbell. So the only two hobby stores were owned by the same people, selling the same products to soldiers, basically.
Right. No, I get it.
That's the same way it is here where I live when it comes to bicycle shops. There's two, and they're owned by the same people, and they get all the freaking business.
Yeah.
It's all about location, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think that, we talked about that on Brian's show, and he was, concerned about the hobby going away. And I don't think it'll necessarily go away. I just think it's not going to get any more popular, because inevitably the popularity of this kind of hobbying is transmitted by word of mouth more than anything else. And so you share it with your kids, but it's always gonna ebb and flow, and it's never gonna be anything but a niche, a niche. It's a niche hobby.
Yeah. And right now it's like the absolute biggest advertiser for D&D no longer advertises for D&D. Critical Role stopped running Dungeons and Dragons, and they are creating their own game system.
Yeah.
Like it's 2D12 or something. And that drop is going to drop the exposure of D&D by a crap ton, because it's no longer going to shill for Wizards of the Coast. What?
I said, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry, man. But if anything, if it makes other games more popular, hopefully. I mean, I'm no great fan of Critical Role, but if anything anybody can do to promote games that are not, WotC, Hasbro.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Socialism, the role-playing game.
Starbucks, the role-playing game.
Socialism, the role-playing game, where you play the owner or employee at a capitalist coffee center. That makes no sense.
Well, like my friends that do still play that game, and I said, why do you play this game? Well, you don't have to play those parts, but it's baked into the system. These things, these ideas, they're baked into, they're baked in the books. Like somebody was Dungeons and Discourse was talking about the new Pathfinder, and there were like the NPCs. One was transgender and one was asexual. These are like literal NPCs in the book. How do you role play that? And
here's the thing: who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? What player or what character in the game gives a damn about the sexual preferences of NPCs that don't matter?
And the people that play 5e, this is what 5e is.
That's right. And that's why
Pathfinder.
And that's why 5e is going to die, because there's.
I think those people would be a lot happier just playing Mystery Date.
Mystery date. I'm going on a mystery date. Yeah.
Those are the kind of people who care. They didn't need that. They could have just
played whatever game, and it's like if you've got the right group for that sort of thing, then cool. But trying to drag it in to a group that's like very mixed, you're going to find a lot of people that are going to be very uncomfortable, if not downright uninterested. And as soon as parents start hearing about that crap, oh, so how'd your game go, honey? And the kid starts telling you, it'd be like, guess what? You're not allowed over there anymore.
Well, that's why
I mean?
like I said, I want to keep real life politics, really off this channel and out of our game sessions.
Well, it's not just the politics; it's also the fake social nonsense, because it really is fake.
I've literally, done several episodes on, romance in RPGs and stuff. Sometimes it actually is crucial to a story. Most stories, prior to the 1980s, 90s, or whatever, had a huge element of that in the story. Even Conan, the movie had that in it. That was a thing. Okay. Sometimes that's the motivation for these great stories, John Carter of Mars, etc. That's what it's all about. That's why the first book was called A Princess of Mars. Okay, this was the ideal, perfect woman in the entire solar system, and John Carter, being the Chad that he is,
the Chad Alpha,
right? And there's a time and place for it. Not every game, not every scenario requires it, but every once in a while, it's actually the most logical thing. Especially if you're like playing. Like let's just take, your typical role-playing game where at a certain level they start getting followers or a castle or something like that, and they start doing that sort of domain play. You're gonna want to, your character have kids and a family to do the next generation.
I want all that stuff off screen, as it were, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm your game master, and I don't want to role play as your girlfriend.
Right, but how many stories? Conan's a great example. The last couple of books were all about Conan, having to rescue his wife or his kid or something like that. The Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane syndrome. The character, he's kind of, indestructible. But the things and people that he cares the most about are not. And you can use those instead of going after a MacGuffin. You're going to rescue your kid or your wife or your husband or something like that. Yeah, you can keep certain stuff off camera, as you should, but using them as a plot device, it just, to me, makes perfect sense.
I agree. Tarzan books are the same way.
Right.
From the first book on, from the very first book in Tarzan series, where he meets Jane for the first time, and then she teaches him to read and to speak and all this stuff. No, but she teaches him to read like French.
Oh, I don't know. I always thought he was super smart.
And he learns. He can't speak English or French or any other language, but she teaches him to speak English, and then she teaches him French, and they're doing stuff, and then she gets kidnapped by whatever, because she's the MacGuffin, and he spends the rest of the book rescuing her, and then she gets rescued, in air quotes, by a Frenchman who takes her back to Europe and leaves Tarzan in the jungle. And then in the second book, it's all about him getting to Europe.
I don't know.
And finding out who he is and everything, but eventually they get to be a little too formulaic. Jane or one of his children is kidnapped. He has to go fight the next bad guys who are more powerful than the last bad guys. So the books get kind of boring after like 15.
That makes a lot more sense than going after,
the magic item or the material MacGuffin or slaying yet another monster. I mean, that's okay for a while, but eventually, if the story's going to progress like a normal story, where people get old and what do people get? What do? They want to start a family, and it makes a great way for you to go. Okay, well, your 15th level character, is getting pretty old. It's kind of stretching the bounds of credibility. Him going on adventure after adventure. Time to roll up first level party. Oh, guess what? It's your kid and your other friends' characters' kids, and then they go do the thing, and you could do the whole generational thing, and still have a lot of home basey stuff that you get to rely on for whether it be a hex crawl or just domain play or a war, things like that. You can really tie this stuff together and get the politics and the political intrigue and all that stuff without it just being your character just trying to get more and more power. Until they somehow divine ascend or some junk like that, which every once in a while that's cool, but if every game is going to kind of evolve into yet another group of characters trying to become gods, that's stretching it too much. Yeah, I've never played that. It's
This game is all about, okay, you create a knight, you get a banner, you want to get a wife, you want to have children, so that when you're old, then your child, or hopefully, you want to have sons, of course, then your firstborn son is the next character. And you just keep playing. It's basically domain play and generational play with adventures thrown in. So, the whole point of the game is for your character to get married, have children, so that they can pass on their lands and hopefully gain more lands, maybe marry up in social status, if possible, build a foundation of wealth and property and glory and a reputation
And legends.
by going on adventures and doing great things throughout the family and just playing generation after generation.
Grand Duke of York, he had 100 men. He marched up the hill and he marched down again.
And I have to say that this edition, the sports edition, I think is the best edition because it doesn't have any kind of unneeded mechanics in the game. A lot of games have additional, they make a new edition and they add unnecessary mechanics. I'm looking at you, 7th edition Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Unnecessary mechanics. Just so it can be more like D&D. Didn't make the game any better. It just made it more complicated.
Right. Plus, everything is problematic and red flaggy.
Exactly.
Everything.
7th edition is quite the woke game.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to play. Don't tell me what to play. Just sell your book. If I like it, I'll buy it. If I don't, I won't.
Yep. There's that entire concept is just getting old for so many folks. And what most people don't understand is that when you're younger, you have the time for some of these ideologies, but when you get older, you just don't.
Ain't got time for that nonsense.
And logic, eventually wins out, logic and biology and natural instinct will eventually win out.
Take your word for it. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speculate. Can hope, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All I can do is take care of me and mine.
Right, and that is exactly part of it, Bo. Eventually, a lot of people realize, there's that old joke. I forget what comedian was. When I was younger, I was pick your liberal or whatever kind of ideology. But when I got older and owned property, I became a Nazi. What? Once you've worked hard for things and accomplished things and whatnot, you just invariably will, for the most part, realize that you want to keep and take care of yours and your own. And if people would let other people just do that, the world would be a pretty friendly place.
We've been on about 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. Unbelievable.
Really?
The stream has been going on for 2 hours and 26 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yeah, I see that. Time flies, man, when you're having fun and hanging out with cool people.
I have got to, and I've painted in that much time. I have finished one mini. I didn't even start it. I finished it. So it tells you that I only have 2 painting speeds, slow and reverse.
What the heck?
But I have got to take care of. I'm sure I've got stuff going on upstairs. I've neglected to do some chores that I said I was going to do.
Of course, man. Again, real life's got to come first. The hobby is, awesome, and there's always, for the most part, tomorrow, or better yet, my show at 6:30 avocado time.
I will check on that, and we'll see I got to see what's going on over here. I've got.
I don't even have a topic yet, so it might not happen just because I literally don't have a topic. I have topics for other shows, but I don't want to, pigeonhole or try to force them into a show they don't belong in. The sci-fi show is for sci-fi.
Sci-fi show. I mean, if it was there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the world of science fiction right now, but it's not all related to gaming and science fiction. The question I have is, why don't people play science fiction games?
I don't know. That baffles me. Why don't people play superhero games?
That's a part of a discussion I had a while back. Sci-fi and or fantasy game, superhero games are actually more understandable for the layman, the person who's not into, most, hardcore fantasy or fictional things. You would think that, with all the people that have watched the superhero movies over the last 10 plus years, that would be the game that everybody's like, oh yeah, I want to play a superhero. But no, the Marvel game flopped. You would think that because it was what?
A terrible game.
But you would think with that kind of money, they could just hire, the right people, the experts, as it were, and just bring them in and go, okay, look, we want to make this game, what's the best way to go about it? Hell, I mean, even
you're not wrong, but I mean, why would I want to buy a new Marvel game when I could play Champions, or I could play the old DC game, which was a much better mechanic than the Marvel game?
Or Villains and Vigilantes, Heroes Unlimited, the Tri-Stat system, Big Eyes Small Mouth has a really good version. There's absolutely a ton of great superhero games, but and conversely, or along the same line, actually. Science fiction. Everybody's seen the movie Alien and Fifth Element and other movies like that, and can easily picture, playing, or Star Wars or Star Trek. Those movies have, made, such a huge impact, but yet people who know nothing about, the fantasy literature of days gone by would still think they know all they need to know to jump into a fantasy game. And not saying that they're wrong, but it just doesn't make any sense. Why
I'll
sci-fi
say that they're wrong.
What?
I'll say that they're wrong.
Well, it doesn't make sense why it doesn't have the numbers, let's just say, that Dungeons and Dragons or even Call of Cthulhu have, when Call of Cthulhu is like the most obscure, niche sort of genre. I mean, you kind of need to read some Lovecraft. Good luck, getting into that, and you know what I mean? And going, oh, this is my niche. This is the era I want to play in, or wish I could have lived in. No, nobody says that. But playing Call of Cthulhu is one of the top selling games of all time, and it just does not make any sense. Even Lord of the Rings can't compare to some of the other bigger, fantasy IPs. And when those movies came out, everybody suddenly became a Tolkien scholar after watching the movies, and those games don't do well either.
Yeah.
You would think that, that I mean, maybe all the Lord of the Rings fans just went to 5e or 4e or whatever it was at the time, and then moved on to more Dungeons and Dragons as opposed to looking for a Lord of the Rings game. I think maybe it takes a little bit more understanding of Tolkien lore to pull it off, and most people just rather play, Pathfinder or 5e or whatever, and import enough of Tolkien into their game, but not play Tolkien. I just don't get it.
All I know is I can't find. I pretty much have to make up the game that I want to play almost out of whole cloth. So, which is, it's fine.
No, I did the same thing. The game that I've been running the longest started out as D&D, added elements of Traveler, went over to Palladium, and then uses all three systems at the same freaking time. I've got 4 or 5 different players with completely, totally different looking character sheets because of how long they've been playing in the campaign. Some will have rules or mechanics or what have you, or terms on their character sheet that come from 3 different games. This guy's got from 2. This guy's got from 1. This girl's got from 2.5. Different systems. And if you were to look at it, you'd be like, what the hell? But I guess that's what happens when you play the same universe or world long enough, and instead of converting, you just use it all. I'll remember those rules when we get to that particular.
Good point. She referenced basically, like I said, everyone from my generation, our generation, the older Gen X, the younger Gen X, all the younger Gen X know Dungeons and Dragons from ET, right? The first hour of ET, they play D&D at the table. The kids all know the kids now all know D&D from Stranger Things. A lot of pop D&D has got a lot of pop culture gravitas.
Mm-hmm.
That other games, and then so I think that maybe there might be just some I never thought of that when it comes to other role playing in other genres. Why would I? Oh wait, I could role play in a modern a modern X-Files type situation. Oh, that would be fun. Let's play an X-Files game. Why don't we all play an X-Files game? I don't know, because nobody ever plays an X-Files game.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You would think that, especially with the youngest of the new gamers, that they'd be like, I don't know that much about the Middle Ages. You got something different, more, more my generation kind of thing.
Well, that's like how how many kids, being 60 and all, I look at Bo's a kid to me. But you look at the age group of like 16 to 25. They have all seen every Marvel movie. They love superheroes. Some of them have gotten into comics because of the movies, but they won't play a superhero game.
Yeah.
What the hell? You love superheroes. Don't you want to be one? Well, no, evidently they don't. They want to play a dwarf or an elf in D&D.
Or
Why?
tiefling or
It's all D&D. Grandma says it's all D&D. Everything
Yeah.
is D&D. What brand? It's like Kleenex. What brand of D&D or Coke? You go to like
Oh
Atlanta
yeah.
and you say, "Hey, can I have a Coke? Yeah. What flavor do you want?" Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to play D&D? Yeah. What kind of D&D do you want to play?
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Even when I've decades ago, we'd be playing Traveler or Chill or something like that, but we'd still call it D&D. Hey, we're gonna play some D tonight. All right, cool.
Oh yeah. I have seen that so many places where they're not playing D&D at all. But when someone asks, when someone's mom asks, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" "Oh, we're gonna play some D&D," because mom can understand that D&D is a game. But if you say, "Yeah, we're gonna go play some Travelers," she can say, "What?" And then you got to explain. Oh my goodness, no one wants to explain. Well, this is a science fiction game. It works, So you just say D&D and let it go, because that's what people automatically understand.
I've got to get off this stupid thing. I gotta clean my brushes.
What do you use
For what?
to clean your brushes?
Clean
What do
your
you use?
brushes.
There are things that I found that are good for cleaning brushes. There are some things that I found that are advertised as brush cleaners and brush conditioners that are not. For just cleaning the brush, I don't mind the old Masters brown stuff.
Yep, that's what I
But
use.
it's not a good brush conditioner. It's not a good. It's not like it's the shampoo, but it's not the cream rinse. It's advertised as a 2-in-1, but I found that it gets actually even like dried paint off pretty well. But for a conditioner, I like either this is the Gentastic Goop from Pro Acryl, or there's the brush gel from Green Stuff World.
Huh. I'll have to look into that.
That I
Once I start buying good brushes.
especially when I'm using, I'm using a $15 brush.
$15 brush.
Not
Mr.
kidding.
Moneybags here.
When I'm using a $15 brush, I don't want to. You're going to take care of it.
Sure, a $15 brush isn't all that expensive when it comes to brushes. You can get much more expensive ones. But
And
I know.
you don't.
it'll last a very long time.
But you can go out and get a $60 brush, and it's literally no better for actually painting miniatures.
The only I had one from one of the newer Winsor & Newton brushes that wouldn't hold a point, and then I also had one Winsor & Newton brush that was pretty good. That son number 3 decided to do the haircut.
Oh.
And he literally took a pair of scissors and gave a Winsor & Newton Kolinsky fiber brush a haircut. Now, for all the listeners that don't do a lot of painting, I said this the other day, I'll say it again. The number of the brush does not necessarily mean it's better for detail work. A brush with the paint is held in the belly of the brush. That's the wide part of the brush. Ideally, you want a brush with a big fat belly that comes to a very fine point. I literally painted all the detail on these minis, all the ones I posted pictures of, with the same number 2 brush. I use a number 2 brush for all of it. It's a Green Stuff World. It's a hairbrush. It wasn't expensive. It's a $6 or $7 brush. And I literally painted all the details, even dotted the I's. I did all the color blocking with the same number 2 brush. Learn to use the edge of the brush where you need to use the edge. Learn to use the point where you use the point, and just make sure that it's got a very fine, and take care of it. You got to take care of your brushes.
Yep. That $15 a $15 brush can be just as good as a $60 brush for painting, and it will last a long time if you clean them well and condition them after use.
Now,
keep them away from 3-year-olds.
If you let paint get into the ferrule of the brush, and it will, the brush is ruined, because where all the hairs are anchored inside, when that paint dries, it will expand.
It pushes them out.
Your point to do this. That's it. Then
you got good dry brushes.
You got it, yeah, but I don't need any. I don't want to turn a Kolinsky fiber brush into a dry brush. Or a paint mixing brush. So yeah, take good care of them. Every time you're done, clean them, put some conditioner on them, and then I dry them upside down. I've
got a special paint rack, cleaning pot that's got the twisted wire, the coiled wire, so that you can put the brushes in upside down. It took me forever to find one of those, though, but it's nice.
So just take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. I've actually got more brushes than I'll never buy another brush. You'll never have to. I bought this brush from Green Stuff World for a review. I paid for it, but I wanted to review their brushes for my channel. And I know that Green Stuff World has had some controversy regarding, lawsuits and whatnot. I don't really follow all that. I know that
I haven't heard any of that. I have not heard any of that.
Everybody was suing everybody over color shifting, the name color shifting.
Oh, okay, I remember that now.
There was like an influencer that got sued and all this crap, and everybody's dragging everybody else through the muck and mud. I have found most of their stuff that I've purchased from them has been, you got to pick and choose, of a reasonable quality and a fair price. And their shipping is not bad either. And they're in Spain. And their shipping.
I know. I got a box from them a while back. It's been over a year. And dude, I kept the box because it had that cool, goofy looking, like coloring book art on it. I'm keeping this box forever.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my little color wheel sticker. I mean, it's not the best, but in a pinch, I can go quickly and go, okay, cool. This is what I want.
I did a review on. They had a starter box, for painters, and it came with like 4 brushes, plus a bunch of their disposal brushes you can use for like glue application, and a bottle of their gel cleaner, and it was, the whole box was like $20, $30 maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I found it a fair deal in a world that's almost oversaturated with some of this stuff. And I think that new people, I bought a lot of junk when I started. And I found stuff that really worked. It took me a while. The only thing that I ever thought was really stinky was the regular Army Painter paints. They tend to be chalky. They don't thin very well. They're not high pigment paints. They don't break down. Then there was that one, the one Army speed paint that was advertised as yellow but was orange. I'm never going to forgive them for that. I'm never going to forgive them for that.
Yeah, I get that. But I totally agree with most of their paints. Their speed paints, that was that yellow, Zealot yellow. I'm right there with you. It's a cool color. It's a cool color if you know what you're using, but you know, considering it was the only yellow that they made and it was orange, that was kind of you know bad form.
And then see, this one is actually the opposite. Their Citadel makes one that's called Contrast Iandon Yellow that looks
I
orange.
got that.
This stuff is awesome. This is some of the best yellow I've seen. You have to put on 2 or 3 coats to get it, but it goes on thin and it is really yellow, even though it looks orange in the pot.
Okay, now, whoops.
I hate giving Games Workshop any credit, but this contrast paint, the only thing I've had to do is put a ball bearing in the bottom of it to mix it. It does have their stupid pots, but yeah, this paint is a banger.
Army Painters washes. Jackie and I did a review of Army Painter, Citadel, and Reaper and Vallejo. Army Painter, hands down, that's what I want. I don't want it staining when I want it to run in. And Reaper and Citadel and Vallejo, that's what you're going to get. They're going to stain the top, and then you have to. But Army Painter makes these metallics. And I don't mean like gold and silver, but I mean like green, pink, blue, red. They're pretty thick, but when you water them down and you get to work with them, I have yet to see anything close to them except for a few, believe it or not, craft paints that you can get similar, awesome, bright, vibrant, you know, metallics that you would use for, you know, fantasy armor and high-tech doodads and stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm
Sorry,
over Army Painter.
I didn't see you waiting in the stage, Grandma. I apologize. I'm kind of getting ready to wrap up, but I mean, I can hang out for a minute. I'm just starting to. I have really. If I showed you my hobby desk right now, you would think it was an episode of Food. You would probably you'd call the law on me. I was watching one of my oldest videos where I did an unboxing. My table was completely clean, and I had almost forgotten that what color my table is. What color is my table? Anyway,
that's why we use we use these foam boards. I put the foam boards over my table.
That's okay. We all have to de-junk from time to time.
One of the things I like about them is like my knives and stuff. Here, let me show you. I just stab them into the foam board.
Awesome.
Or my files, other tools like that. Instead of looking, for the cup that they go in, I could just stab them into the board. They, absorb the paint and spills. I spilled a whole bottle of this freaking Testors stuff. This Testors model paint. I know everybody likes Tamiya or whatever better, but I can't.
Testors doesn't make paint anymore.
It's just model glue. It's just plastic cement, but
it's
a liquid.
I thought they were out of business. I'm sorry, I was mistaken.
Maybe they have, but everybody I when I mentioned, they say, "Oh, the other stuff's better." I'm like, well, you want to send me some? I'll take it off your hands. Otherwise, I'm gonna buy what I can buy locally. But I spilled I just got through buying a bottle of it, and I spilled it on my table, and the foam board was there, and no problem. As opposed to having, because I've got just a folding table underneath me that I can take and do other stuff with if I absolutely needed to, and I had 4 hours to clear my table. It's a great little way to keep my stuff, my table and my workstation, from being a disaster, sort of. Yeah, I mean,
I need to put these paints away. I've got about 32 various pots of paint on the screen of my desk, and I'm using them right now. I have racks. I have baskets up on the wall where I keep my paints. I just got them from Home Depot. But
nice, yeah, nice. I wish I had that kind of space for my paints. They're 90% are right here to my left or my right.
And then I've got my gloves and my paper towels on the wall. So Grandma dropped again. Somebody's back. RPG comes back. Guys, we gotta stop.
I'm having a sound issue on my end, guys.
But and it's almost time to start cooking something. I gotta decide what the kids want. I'm really feeling tacos, but I made those hamburger steaks last night. So I don't know if I want to eat any more hamburger. I don't know. Something will inspire me.
Oh, we just lost Kevin too. Hey, Bo, real quick.
Is that the how big is he for scale? Put him next to a.
Here's I believe it's the 28.
Well, I'm gonna make you big. Oh wow, okay. Is that the pilot in the middle that you see? Has he got a cage on him or something?
Yeah, I haven't done that part yet because I want to be able to paint it, so I'm going to assemble that part later. It's got a cage, and it's also got clear plastic windscreens. But it can pivot at the hip because I didn't glue it wrong. And then the arms have ball joints and other things. So it's probably all going to go to hell when I primer it. The arms, anyways. The waist, not so much. But I'm going to put them in a cool pose, and then I'll have.
Yeah, one thing that scale creep. One thing that was really, in fact, I need to go get some more because they're all going to be super cheap. So that Games Workshop, like last month, they basically they squatted all of the old Space Marines, right? The old Space Marines are out, so they've all gone to the Primera size. So I'm hoping I can pick up some of the old Space Marines at a fire sale price, because if you put the old Space Marines up next to a regular 28mm miniature, they pretty much just look like a man in power armor. They don't look
I remember you showing that.
They don't look like genetically engineered super soldiers. So what I want to do eventually is just I've got a box or two of the old plastics. I think a tactical squad or two that I want to make for the party's power armor when they are in power armor. When that day finally does come that you earn your power armor. Assuming that Rex lives that long. Rex is a bit impetuous.
I'm trying to play him that way. He's a 22-year-old kid.
I throw him in the closet. Oh crap! All right. That is turning into a really fun game. I am really enjoying where this is going. The only problem I'm having, actually, and I don't know if I want to say this, I just want to keep all of the players engaged. That's the problem I'm having.
Yeah, I've mentioned that before.
Some people seem like they're not there to play. They're there to watch, which is fine. But somebody said that eventually that the players that just like to watch eventually will self-remove from a game. So I don't know. I hate to see anybody leave my game, but I mean I have done everything I can to engage players. I've sent private messages. I've had NPCs ask them direct questions, but we still have one or two players that would rather be acted upon than act.
Yeah, I've done what I could to help as well. But it could be things going on in their periphery. Sometimes you got a honey-do list or something like that just pop up, or I need help with this.
So I don't want to take the blame for it as game master. So Grandma, what I'm talking about is I've got a regular Friday night group. It's not my group, it's their group. It's my game, it's their group. So I run this game, and it's pretty much every Friday. It's about 2.5 hours. So I try to be serious about keeping the game together, because I only have 2 hours I want to break down. But we have a player or two that are not proactive as role players. And so I try to engage them either through direct messages on Discord or through NPCs to try to light a fire, but I can't. I feel like I can't do any more. So I don't know if you've had experience with that, if you've got advice for that. That could be a subject for one of your videos.
Well, you know, they have free will. Yeah.
At least the illusion of.
They have free will. Excuse me. There's still a lag.
I don't want
the stuff.
I don't
Okay.
want to be that
So yeah,
guy.
they have free will,
Left
and sometimes, they're just not into the character, or they don't understand what the character's supposed to do. Like they just don't know what. Okay, I'm playing a thief, but I don't know how to be a thief. I've had that happen. And so if you have them do a different type of character that they can understand and maybe be closer to themselves,
Okay.
that can make a difference because they really just can't think imagine out that far yet. You can put pressure on them other ways to start at least doing something. You know, when they stand there, then bad things always happen. You don't have to kill the bad things, but you know, where they figure out, oh, if I don't do something, you know, things are going to go sideways on me all the time.
That's
Let's see what else can you do.
I'll think about that. I'll think about that.
Some people are really self-conscious, and
I don't think
getting
that's
them
it.
out of that spot
I don't think that did at all.
But it's a possibility that that they just don't like the game or don't like the way the game is going. I try to involve every player. I really
You don't think that's it? Okay, well, you know,
I think you just
yeah,
need to throw
or that's
monsters
just
at
not
them.
their jam.
There's lots
You
of
know, like-
monsters, Bo. That's what I would do.
Do
Just
what?
constant, just lots of monsters.
There's a desperate lag on my end. Sorry, guys.
Lots of monsters.
Lots of monsters, yeah. Monsters, robots, you know, just all kinds of crap. Just people, maybe they're used to that,
Yeah, some of me.
like a lot of combat, like way more combat, less of this
They
stuff.
lose their turn, you know, if they don't move.
I'll consider that for this week.
Well, I'm going to be out of commission, so someone's going to have to take up all my slack,
That's kind of why I introduced the robots in the last game. I'm trying to make every it's like a sci-fi dungeon crawl, that part of the game anyway. I try to interject some mystery to it, but since it's a space Hulk, there's room for lots of different kinds of bad guys in different sections of the ship.
Absolutely. It totally took me by surprise, man. I was not expecting freaking robot.
Yeah, you were, because the first ones you blew up with a grenade.
The first ones. It was like just robots in general. I wasn't sure that the tech was, it was that kind of a techie, situation.
You can't say that because in the game, in this section of the campaign, we've introduced at least different spaceships from different cultures, stuff you've never seen before. You should have been expecting almost anything. Psychics, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make it too gonzo, at least not this one. The last
session in the D&D game we're playing, because it has Keep on the Borderlands technology.
Okay, now look, the two D&D campaigns, the two like D&D modules, the sets of them I've never played Keep on the Borderlands. And I've never played the temple one that kills everybody off. What's it called?
Elemental Evil.
Yeah, Temple of Elemental. I've never played either one of them. I've always intentionally avoided any conversation about those two games with the hopes that someday I might get to play them.
I keep on the Borderlands.
I never played them. I would love to, but it has.
It's Barriers Peak. That's what I want to say. I'm in two different games, D&D. So the in person is the keep, and then the virtual is Ravenloft. But
Oh, really?
it has the Barriers Peak tech in it. Yeah.
Really?
And we basically that's in there that I just got my hands on as the Artificer Minotaur. It's basically like a small tactical nuclear weapon, apparently.
I'm down. Oh, something's wrong with my phone. What's wrong with my phone?
You actually went through the barrier peaks, or just?
So I'll be blowing something up.
That's a tough dungeon. Expedition of the Barrier Peaks. That is a rough.
My character comes. The characters in this game come from the world of Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I am. Well, so now we've gone 3 hours. Oh. What is some kind of a record? I do want to make a video.
And my particular character comes from Barrier Peak.
Barrier Peaks. I don't know anything about that's. Did you say that was Ravenloft? Oh, Greyhawk.
Yeah,
Greyhawk. The only D&D Minotaurs I really know about are the ones from Cran, I think, the green ones.
Well, Ravenloft pulls in characters from other realms.
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do a 45-day review of all of the Ravenloft books, starting the 15th.
So in this case, I had it. Yeah, I have to not watch. Yeah, there's a lag thing going on, so I heard what Shadow just said.
I'm going to be doing
I have a Minotaur for the 5e game because I came up with a crazy idea to be a Minotaur.
That's an game. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how he runs the game.
It's not an optimized character; it's a challenged character.
I'm down for that. I like my characters more on the challenging side. Definitely not one for the optimized build. I was talking about that earlier. One of my biggest rants regarding D&D is the optimized character and the optimized party. It reduces D&D. It reduces role-playing games to a tabletop war game, or worse, a video game. And if I wanted to play a video game, I'd play a video game.
Video game.
Well, an optimized party, an optimized build.
Because the language is video game.
And that's
you're going to build a character. You're going to optimize
characters.
It's very video game.
I've really got to clean up.
No worries, man.
I think I better cycle out because I am so at a different time in every video. So I'm going to leave because I'm messing up the stream.
No, it's okay. But I'm going to get off too. I think we're going to end it. It's been 3 hours.
Take care, everybody.
I think that's my previous record for a stream is blown away. Anybody on right now? Thanks for participating. Thanks for watching. I would encourage you to subscribe to both RPG Grandma and to Shadow and Sun. These are two
Appreciate it, man.
quality YouTubers with regard to all things both miniature gaming and role-playing gaming. This is the real McCoy. Thank you for participating. Thank you for watching.
Pleasure, man.
I will, if I don't catch you, I will catch you next week. I bid you peace.
Happy trails, everybody.